need to be about keeping these commandments. This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Talk to Eli. Talk to Nashon. Talk to Yikiel.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Most High in Christ bless you all. Most High in Christ bless you as we are into our prep day for the Sabbath, which is coming up momentarily, a few hours, and we'll be into our Sabbath day. So right now we're preparing, okay? We're preparing for the Sabbath, and I say shalom to all my brothers and sisters that are out there watching online, and also my brothers and sisters that are in the body. And, for all of us, we say shalom and Most High in Christ bless you all. Happy to be here. Okay. We're dealing with the second part of our series. Our topic is freedom from fear and bondage. Okay. Now we're in part 2, freedom from fear and bondage. But before we get started, let us deal with this matter here. Come on with it.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Every time we read this, I have to smile and almost laugh within, because we have to say that we're not a hate group. This is really amazing. This is really amazing. And I mean, it never gets old with me.
Right.
In terms of every time we read this, I feel it is beyond redundant. It's, it's just absolutely ridiculous that we have to say that, because that shows you that our enemies have the power to legitimize criminality.
Right.
That's what it is. They are, our enemies, which are the real hate group. They've displayed hatred all over the entire planet Earth. Global robbery. And the people that they robbed want their things back. And if you want your things back, you're a hater. That's some sickness. These are some sick people we're under. You're a hater because you want your things back. Damn. Boy, there you go.
Witchcraft.
Lord have mercy. That's what you call the devil. The Lord's Prayer means what it is. When it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in this earth as it is in heaven." We really need for the Most High we need that kingdom to be on here. But think about it though. Just to show you how much of a devil this man is. They say, "Oh damn, he's starting already, calling the white man the devil." Think about it. There's a kingdom that's on this earth right now in existence, and these people don't want to give their kingdom up at all. That's why they got this. That's why they got their space garbage out there, their weapons and all that. They got all that NORAD and all types of satellites, and talking about some want to fight against foreign objects outside. Right. Even got books on it talking about war in space and space warfare. And you ask yourself, what's out there that they got to be fighting? What is this all about? Right. And what it is that they know the Bible. They pretend they don't know the Bible. They know that the black people are the Jews. They know that the Negroes, the West Indian, Haitian, Puerto Ricans, Cuban, Mexican, Dominicans, the Native American, they know that those are the 12 tribes of Israel. They know that because they know what they have some idea about what that Bible's talking about. But they want to pretend and hide. You understand? And if anybody speaks out against it, they shut them down. Like they're doing Kanye West.
Kanye West. Took his money out the bank.
Damn.
Forced him to go to another bank.
Bank.
Your money not good here. All the money he got, your money not good here. Just because he mentioned that blacks and Hispanics are the 12 tribes.
Don't be fooled. The minute he take his money out of this bank, all the rest of the banks are going to say no. See, that's one thing we got to realize. Esau works together. You're not going to basically that's another way of saying you're blackballed. So when they quote unquote, and look, even the word blackballed, and we have our quote unquote black skin, and we already feel negative just because of the term itself. Blackmail, blacklisted, stuff like that, and we internalize that. So he'll take his money out of there, and then he'll find out that he'll have all kinds of troubles going into other banks. I'll tell you how deviant the white man is. He'll say, "Okay, we'll take you, but we got to charge you extra." Because you're risky. They'll say some crap like that. They said Chase had to get rid of you. This is how they justify things. So your rate got to be such and such and this and that and the other. Now I remember watching Scarface. Now you remember the movie Scarface with Al Pacino? Yeah. You remember and listen, that was real. They really what these drug dealers, they was using these big time banks to launder the money in. And I remember there's a scene in there where he said, "Listen, Tony, we have to raise your rates." You remember that? And they were arguing. He said, "What the hell? I'm giving you this, I'm giving you that." He said, "Forget about it." And they were arguing with it. This man's a damn drug dealer. So basically, you can sell dope because you can't tell me that the drug dealers ain't laundering it. Come on, stop it. You know they doing it big time. Right. Years ago, you had BCCI banks. It was coined BCCI, Banks of Crooks and Criminal Incorporated. But that's a real name. Okay, when you do some research on it, that was these offshore accounts that was dealing with cocaine coming in. They were laundering the money through these banks and all that. You trying to tell me that these banks in this country is different? No, they all in bed together. So when they go to start shutting people down, you're not going to be able to leave Chase and go to Bank of America or Wells Fargo. They all in bed together. They all believe in the same thing. Because what did Kanye actually say that was wrong? I mean, in terms of facts. Now I don't know if he's talking about attacking them. I don't. They're saying that he went on a launch against them. That's something like that. But he basically said that they're not the Jews. And the black people are the Jews. That's what they're really angry with. They know Kanye. If let's say he did say that. Let's say that he said he's going to go on the rampage against them. Do you really think that a white so-called Jew is worrying about a Negro talk about what he's going to do to white folks?
No, sir.
Hell no. So that ain't no threat. They basically wanted to shut his voice down because he's got influence. Yep. That's what that's about. Just like they did Nick Cannon. Just like they did others. I'll even go as far as to say Kendrick Lamar a little bit. Yep. They got to him a little bit.
And Bishop, how do you know they wanted to shut him down because of influence? Because not only did they do that with the banks, they stopped his Twitter account, his Instagram account. That's all.
That's the power that they have. So you really think they were worried about what he said? They said we ain't gonna lift up a finger. All we're gonna do is press some buttons and make some phone calls. Boom. Man, come on. These people are the devil that the Bible speaks of. So I mentioned all of that because I was talking about the Lord's Prayer. In the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in this earth, as it is in heaven." As the kingdom of God is coming on this earth to take the kingdom and bring righteousness here, there's a kingdom that's here already that's trying to stop the kingdom of God. The great red dragon. That's the so-called white man. That's the devil that the Bible speaks of. People don't like that language, but it's in the Bible. They want to shut us down for saying it. This is a wicked damn system, bro. These people wicked as hell. And if you have any kind of common sense to know that there's no way in the world you can get a righteous utopia out of this wicked cesspool. No way. So stop. Just come on. Just, stop playing. So, like I said, we're dealing with freedom from fear and bondage, and we're in part 2. And what I want to illuminate is, like I mentioned last week, our job at the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers, is to make the Bible real to our people, and that was the point that I was making last week, and I'm going to make it again. We are to take the Bible and acclimate it to you Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what our job is. Our job is to make sure that you see yourself in the Bible, to understand that the Bible is your book. Once you understand the Bible is your book, you would actually deal with it like you're reading your own mail, like you're reading your own personal business, like it was a letter written to you. It's a book written to you. You'll have more of a kinship with it. You're reading about your fathers, your sons, your uncles. You're reading about your customs, the way you dress, who your enemies are, your high holy days. These are records that pertain to us, but you have to be brought to that understanding to know that you're not just reading a book about somebody else. You're literally reading it. You're literally reading about yourselves. Okay. You're literally reading about yourselves. Before I get carried away, let me introduce the crew. I'm Bishop Galsop, brothers and sisters. Let's get on around.
Also, Eli, shalom.
Also, yeah, shalom.
Also, not Sean. Shalom.
All praise to the Most High. So we're gonna keep it moving. So, like I said, our job is to make the Bible real to our people by illustrating the Bible, so that our people can know that this book is actually talking about them. Brothers and sisters, our intention tonight is to go to almost 9 o'clock. We're going to go beyond our time a little bit, and we contacting Deacon Abiel, who has Fix Your Face. We're going to have him to start earlier. So at 9 o'clock, Lord willing, if he got the message, he'll be starting at 9 o'clock if he can get his team together. But that's the objective. So and Deacon Laba sends his blessings and his regards to all the tribes of Israel. Okay, all praise to the Most High. Deacon Laba, shalom, happy Sabbath. So like I said, our job is to make the Bible real to our people, and it is to make sure that our people understand that the Bible is their photo album. So that's the point that I was making. And we're going to bring out a little bit of history from a dictionary that's going to illuminate that fact about what we ought to do so that you can understand that the Bible is talking about you. Let's go up here. There's a dictionary that I had to wrestle up, so to speak. Zoom in on that. Okay. This is an old dictionary. Give me the front page first. Give me the page. That's what I want there. Let the people see that. Zoom in on it. Fill up we'll just move it down, but spread it out. Now move to the top. So they can see what it is. Okay, let the people see. This is called a biblical and theological dictionary. Okay, explanation of the history, manners, and customs of the Jews and neighboring nations. So this is not a comic book. As we move down with an account of the most remarkable places of persons mentioned in sacred scripture. So moving on down, it says by Richard Watson. What year was this dictionary published? It published in New York by 1837. So this is not comic books. And notice this, the time period, they weren't trying to let our people learn how to read and all that. So these are things that they were writing for themselves. This was information that they were putting inside these dictionaries and these books. A lot of the books that you see Bishop be bringing out, there's those old dates on it because we weren't reading back then. So they would actually read about our customs and write about our customs. And this is what we're going to read about. Give me the next page. Okay. So now we're going to illumine. So you see the whole page there. I'm going to move into a certain section of it, and I want to read something. And the reason why I want to have this read is because what we're going to show is that it's making a point. I know some people might be asking, well, what's the historical reference to this here? The historical reference would be like in the time of Jeremiah, would be like in the time of Moses, in the time of Haggai, in the time of Nahum, in the time of Isaiah, the time of Ezekiel. And we're going to read a couple of scriptures that's going to illuminate what we're about to read here. All right, let's zoom in on that. Let's zoom in. Now, come on down. I know I gave y'all a blown up part, but we could just stay with this since we already got it. I want to start where it says many of the discourses. See that? Yeah. There's a gap. Okay, you hold the page there, move the hand so you can see. You see what it says many of the discourse?
Yes, sir. I see it, Bishop.
Okay, read that. So basically what we're talking about is about when the camps go out to teach, when they go out to preach. So basically Jeremiah had a camp, Isaiah had a camp, Nehemiah had a camp, Nahum had a camp. All these brothers had camps. And when they went to camp, this literature here in this dictionary and from the 1800s is going to show you how they went to camp. And we're going to find out if we fit within this here. And we just got hold of this. This has been written since the 1800s when they wouldn't even allow us to read at all. Couldn't even catch us near a book. Mm-hmm. But yet they're writing about how we got down in our history. Wow. Read.
Yes, sir. Many of the discourses were preached in camps and courts, in streets, schools, cities, villages, sometimes with great composure and coolness.
Okay, so you, as y'all can see that, can y'all zoom in some more? Let's tighten that up. And that's right. Let's get that now. There you go. That's what I want. Many of the discourses, I'm just going to read it again. Many of the discourses were preached in camps. Now, I want to illuminate those words. Camps. This is what these brothers were doing. Courts, in streets, schools. See, this is what we're doing now. Right. This is what IUIC is doing now. Literally all of these. Even in court, we end up having to drop the word on people in the courtroom. So there you go. But they meant like court, like a public square or something like that. But even in the court where we are pressed about certain things that happen, you know, whether people want to bring us to court or whatever, if we come, we're gonna bring out the Bible, even in the courtroom, okay? Because that's what we do. That's what we're about. So many of the discourses were preached in camps and courts and streets, schools, cities, villages. Go ahead.
Sometimes with great composure and coolness.
And coolness. Sometimes we were well-mannered.
At other times, with vehement action.
With vehement action. So that means, let me tell you what that is. Give me Isaiah 13. We're going to camp right now.
That's right.
Isaiah 13. Watch this here. We're going to read it.
What verse you want, Bishop?
The second verse.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 2. Lift ye up a banner.
Well, give me the first verse.
Verse 1. The burden of Babylon.
The burden of Babylon. This is the prophet Isaiah teaching in ancient Babylon. He was actually speaking about the Most High coming to destroy Babylon the Great. That's what he was talking about, even though he was in ancient Babylon, but it was talking about Babylon the Great. Okay? Read.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
Meaning that he saw it in a vision. The Most High, everybody that was there during the time of Babylon, they saw that. So why is it making a point that he saw Babylon? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If everybody is in the physical Babylon, why would it have to say that he saw Babylon? Everybody's there seeing it. So the Babylon that Isaiah saw was Babylon the Great. Mm-hmm. Give me verse 6.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
The day of the Lord did not come during the time of the Babylonians at all. Even Christ didn't even come at that time. Okay, so the day of the Lord did not come at this Babylon that Isaiah was in. Now give me verse verse 19 to show you that this is the Babylon that's talking about. Is it verse 19?
Yes, sir.
Okay, read that.
Isaiah chapter 13 verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms.
The glory of kingdoms was Babylon the Great, which is what Isaiah was speaking about. America. Read it again.
In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency.
The excellency of America is that she robbed everybody, and she became excellent because all nations have been drunk with the wrath that America put on all of the nations. Mm-hmm. That's why she's glorified and all of that. Read it again.
In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees.
Of the Chaldees. That's the Chaldeans were the upper echelon members of the ancient Babylonian Empire. They were like the government or the wise men, so you can understand. That was the upper echelon of the Babylonian Empire. These people here fit that today. Read.
Excellency shall be as when...
Their excellency is all of their technology, their witchcraft, their monopolizing of everything, media, law, everything, religion, all that represents their excellency, their technology. That's it. Go ahead.
Shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
How did God overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? With fire and brimstone. There's a scripture in Genesis that tell you about that. It says that the Lord opened up the windows of heaven and brought down fire and brimstone to burn up Sodom and Gomorrah, the 5 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. So how did how did Sodom and Gomorrah burn up? Through fire and brimstone. Read that again.
Yes, sir. Verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
When God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, he did it by fire. So that's the Babylon. Go back to the 6th verse.
Verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
From the Almighty, the destruction from the Almighty is that fire that he's going to bring to destroy this place. Okay, that did not happen in ancient Babylon. Now go back to verse 1.
Verse 1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see.
So Isaiah saw a different Babylon other than what the people were seeing. They were seeing the literal Babylon that they were in. But the Most High said, no, Isaiah, I'm going to cause you to see the real Babylon the Great.
Hey, Bishop, and if you would have kept going down to 20, it furthermore proves that it's talking about another land outside of that ancient Babylon.
Okay, what does it say in 20?
Read that for him.
Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited.
There you go. Perfect. It shall never. Man, that was perfect. That's right on point. Mm-hmm. It shall never be inhabited again. Babylon, the land of Babylon is being inhabited right now. So that ain't what this is talking about. What you reading there is in the book of Revelation. Mm-hmm. Okay, Revelation 18th chapter. That's what this is coming from.
Yes,
this
sir.
is also coming from Isaiah the 34th chapter. That's the part that he read there. Read those two verses again. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. Mm-hmm. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Let's read about how God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, because somebody might not know. Let's get the scripture. It's in Genesis. I forget where it's at. Is it 19? No, 8?
18, I think.
Sodom and Gomorrah. No, it might not be that.
About 19.
Yeah, 19 and
24.
24. That's it. Read that.
Genesis chapter 19 and verse 24.
Read.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
Read it again.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah. What did he do?
Brimstone and fire.
And fire. Fire to burn it up and destroy it. That's what God did to Sodom and Gomorrah. Is that it?
From the Lord out of heaven.
From the Lord out of heaven. He caused it to come from out of the sky. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how this place is going to burn when those missiles come to destroy this place. Go back to Isaiah.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
So who's saying that? Whose words? I mean, those are the Most High's words, but who's saying that? Isaiah. Isaiah is saying that. Isaiah is actually declaring that to the people. Read it again.
Yes, sir. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms.
So Isaiah is saying, look, Babylon, the glory of kingdoms.
The beauty of the Chaldees.
The beauty of the Chaldees.
Excellency.
Their excellency, even though, now he's talking about a Babylon that he's not even in. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, because that's the vision that God gave him. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
This place is going to be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed with fire and brimstone. That's the reason why the 6th verse say what it says. Read 6 again.
Verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
Go ahead.
It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
The fire is going to come as a destruction from the Almighty. Read the next verse.
Verse 7. Therefore shall all hands be faint.
That's a beautiful part right there. Therefore, when the Lord sends fire and brimstone to destroy this Babylon the Great, it says all hands shall be faint. What does that mean? There's nothing that they're going to be able to do to stop it.
Right.
No matter what kind of peace talks with Putin and all that, nothing going to stop what the Most High is programming these men to do. God caused them to build the weapons. They're going to use them. They're not going to put them in a warehouse. They're not going to put them in a museum. Those buttons are going to get pressed. That's the reason why they built the button for it.
And you see it brewing.
I don't want to press it. Yeah, you're going to press it. You're going to press it. God calls you to build it. That's in the book of Isaiah as well. Isaiah wrote about that thing. He said it's going to be brought down with fire. And then it says, and because of that prophecy going out, all hands shall be faint. Read that verse again, 7.
Therefore shall all hands be faint.
Go ahead.
And every man's heart shall melt.
Your mind gonna melt in trying to stop the prophecies of God. Your mind is melting now because the truth about Israel is spreading out through this earth. That's right.
Right.
Their mind, because they're trying to figure out how in the hell, this is what they're saying, how in the hell are these people still waking up? We lied to them in church. We lied to them in school. We told them that they were niggas. We told them that they were spicks and spooks and wetbacks. How in the world are these people, just like the book of Wisdom of Solomon say, how are these people counted the people of the Lord? We counted this life as madness. We counted this life as crazy and all the rest of it. How in the world are these people standing up and being the people of God, standing on their feet, and great fear fell upon them with slaughter? They see that. They see that, and they're not going to escape it. Read it.
Verse 8. And they shall be afraid.
And they shall be afraid. Did you finish 7?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they shall be afraid. Go ahead.
Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them.
That's what's happening now. Pains and sorrows taking hold of Esau. Okay, don't think he's comfortable. He's watching the Israelites. He's watching and he's seeing the Israelites wake up. And you see how he's acting. And his influences like Kanye and these different people that's out here, they don't fully know this yet. And their hope is that they never come to this. Lord forbid if they come into this and use their influence to put this truth way out there, they're scared to death of that.
It's a wrap.
So they don't want that to happen. So they said, we want to shut your ability to move around. That's what they're trying to do because they're scared to death. But you can't stop this truth. You cannot stop this truth. Okay. Where you at?
Still verse 8.
That's it. That's all I need to know. Now go back to verse 1 and 2 because now I got to get back to the reason why I went through all of this. Give me 1 and 2 again.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 1.
We never read 2. We're going to read 1 and 2. Come on.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
So Isaiah is bringing out the visions that God gave him concerning Babylon the Great, not the Babylon that he was in. Read.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
The high mountain is the United States of America. He's saying the Most High said for you to lift your hands upon the high government. So although Isaiah was doing that in literal Babylon back then, his also, like the scriptures say, the things which were written aforetime were written for our learning. These things are going to be done in these times here. And that's what this dictionary is going to show. So what it say? Read that second verse again.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. What is the banner? The Bible. This society don't want the Bible at all. They want lies. But when the truth about who the Jews are, when the truth about who the Israelites are, the 12 tribes of Israel, they ain't going to want this Bible at all. That's the reason why they got so many crack houses. Churches. They got so many, I keep getting them things mixed up. So many crack houses with Bibles in there, lying to the people, and then somebody figure out what this Bible's really talking about. They're going to get rid of him. They want to get rid of the Bible. They want to get rid of the understanding, all that. Label them a hate group, label them monsters, label them all kind of things to keep the truth of this Bible from getting to them. The scriptures say, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They don't want you to be free at all. They want you to remain in fear and bondage. That's the whole point. Read that second verse again.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice upon them.
When you're exalting your voice, you blasting them. You ain't showing no fear at all. You got the power of the Lord behind you as you speak, and you condemn all wickedness. That's why it says that in the book of Corinthians. It says, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience against God's laws. That's the readiness that Isaiah had. That's the readiness that we have. Okay, when our obedience is fulfilled. So we want to make sure that we're keeping the commandments so that we can be justified when we go out there with that Bible and blast, because that's what our job is. Read that again, second verse.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
The high mountain is the high government. Come on.
Exalt the voice upon them.
Exalt the voice unto them. Come on.
Shake the hand.
Shake the hand. Go ahead.
That they may go into the gates of the nobles.
So when you shaking your hand and you exalting your voice, they're going to call you a hate group. When you blasting they behind with the Bible, they're going to call you a hate group. So guess what? Isaiah is a part of a hate group. Anybody that's going to teach this Bible in righteousness, the Israelites, that's what it's talking about. It ain't talking about these so-called white preachers, because this Bible ain't even dealing with them. Right. So them having a Bible and getting in their temples and pulpits, there's no effect. God ain't moving by that. But when the Bible get inside the hands of the Israelites, then the angels are activated because we got it. That's the scary thing. When we teach the Bible, the angels are activated. They're not activated when Esau gets the Bible, or East Indian get the Bible, or a man from France, or the Edomites, this and that, Chinese. The Most High ain't moving. He said, what have thou to do to declare my statutes? So he's not even listening to them. But when these people that you call slaves and Negroes, these are the Israelites, and when they wake up, when the 12 tribes of Israel wake up and they grab this Bible and go out there and teach, they know the angels are going to move. That's what they're scared of. That's what they're scared of. So be mindful of that. Where we at?
Verse 3.
Read 2 again.
Verse 2.
That's all I want, just the second verse.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Go ahead.
Exalt the voice upon them.
Exalt the voice unto them. That's what it says?
Unto
upon
them. Unto them.
Right. Read it again.
Lift ye up
a banner upon the high mountain. Come on.
Exalt the voice unto them.
Exalt the Bible. That's the voice that is talking about. Exalt the Bible unto the inhabitants of Babylon the Great. Because that's who Isaiah is talking about. Although he was in ancient Babylon, this is being said now. Go ahead.
Shake the hand.
Shake the hand. Go ahead.
That they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Make them so mad that they start complaining. That's what it means. That's the reason why Chase is acting up. That's the reason why the banks is acting up, and different people and different organizations and all that. And eventually it's going to get into politics and the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're going to have to confront this because their whole world is existent because they have lied on this Bible and they've destroyed the children of Israel. That's how this whole system is set up. All of the institutions and everything that you see here is literally sitting on blood-soaked soil of the Native American Indians, who are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. It's also in perpetuity and operation because of the robbery that they did to the so-called Negroes and the West Indians and the Puerto Ricans and the Haitians and the Cubans and all. All that's global robbery, and that's the oil or the fuel that keeps the system going. So they're dependent upon that. So they're not trying to get this truth out at all. Mm-hmm. Now here comes the Bible coming to clean all of this up.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So that's the dragon that's going to be against when Christ come back. Because when Christ come back, he's going to establish righteousness. And in order for righteousness to be established, the wicked must be taken down. You think Christ's going to sit on the throne beside Esau? Think about that. When it's written in Revelation, it said that when he comes, he's going to take the crowns. And the Ancient of Days did sit. So all of the kingdoms are going to lose their rulerships. And it's all going to be given to Christ. You think Esau want to lose this kingdom? Hell no. So that's the reason why he's got his dragnet of weapons and all kind of, and trying to hide this truth, because his point is that he wants to rule for beyond what the Most High said. Your time limit is what it is. He don't want that to happen. Okay. So the point that I was bringing out was that vehement action in the second verse, shaking the hand and exalting the voice. Now let's go back to that dictionary.
Many of the discourses were preached in camps, in courts, in streets, schools, cities, villages, sometimes with great composure and coolness. Mm-hmm. At other times, with vehement action and rapturous energy. That's what we just read out of Isaiah. Rapturous energy and vehement action. That's Isaiah 13:2. Go ahead, read. Sometimes in a plain, blunt style. He hurt my feelings. Sometimes we ain't playing games. Right. Pow! Mm-hmm. Some people, they don't like that. They said, damn, we didn't have to say it that way. Right. Sometimes, like, the sister come out looking with a small rag around her butt and they ain't got nothing else. Mm-hmm. Brothers would be like, yo, sister, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. You ain't supposed to be dressed like that. Here go the brother. Why are you disrespecting my woman? The hell? Yo, she need her behind torn up. Coming out here looking like that. That's that blunt style. You got to get on your people. Mm-hmm. Okay? Sometimes it comes hard like that.
Shake the hand.
Blast them. Mm-hmm. Okay? Here comes a man wearing a dress. Mm-hmm. We supposed to just let that go by. Hell no. But he got to get it. Got to get it. Come on, read. At other times, in all the magnificent pomp of Eastern allegory, mm-hmm. On some occasions, the preachers appeared in meaning the prophets, the teachers, talking about the camp brothers. Go ahead. Appeared in public with visible signs. Do you see that with what? Visible signs. With visible signs. Why am I bringing this out? Because the visible signs is used to illuminate and to help illustrate the Bible. That's the reason why I'm reading this. So the stuff that I'm going to go over tonight is to help illuminate the fact that the Bible is your book. The things that's recorded in history and the things that we will bring out on the signs in the streets is to help acclimate you to a book that you don't know much about. But the Bible is your book. Right. So we try to use these tools to help acclimate you and bring you in so that you can see that the Bible is your book. Okay, read.
With implements of war, with yokes of slavery.
Let's read that again. On some occasions, the
preachers appeared in public with visible signs.
That's what we do. They're writing about this in the 1800s because this was a discussion about what the prophets did. Like we was talking about with Nehemiah and them brothers.
On the front of the Bible, the dictionary, it said the culture or the
right,
culture
right.
of
Let's
the
go back,
Jews.
right, because that's what it was saying. That's what it said when I showed y'all that first page. It says account of the
customs.
No, up at the top. It says with an explanation. Pull it down. Explanatory, right? Explanatory of the history, manners, and customs of the Jews. So that's what our customs were. This is what we did. Let's go back to the page.
And Bishop, that's biblical.
Yes.
That's biblical. According to get Ezekiel 37.
I'm going
there.
You
going there?
I'm
okay.
going there.
All right.
Hold on. I'm about to come there.
He's setting it up.
Yeah. I'm coming there. He want to take the thunder. Give him something else. Give him Nehemiah. Nehemiah and Proverbs. I want Proverbs 122. Let's pull that up.
Yes, sir.
Then we're gonna get the Ezekiel. Got to get that because we got that word signs there, so we got to deal with that thing.
Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
Do you think that the prophets were saying it like that? And do you think they said it in a soft voice? They were, how long, you simple ones? He was blasting them. That's how that goes. Read it again.
How long, ye simple ones?
Give me verse 20.
Verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets.
And shake. What it said in Isaiah? It says, shake the hand and exalt the voice. There it is again. Exalt the voice and shaking the hand. That's what's happening there. Read.
Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concord.
The chief place of concord. That's what we was looking at here. Look, that's what it was. That's what we was reading in the courts. What it said in the courts. Where's the part at?
Courts,
in the
camps,
courts,
streets.
I can't even see. Yeah, it's up there.
Courts,
in the streets, schools, villages. That's what we did in the neighborhoods. We do this. This is what we do. Go ahead. Come back in here in the Bible.
Yes, sir. Verse 21. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones?
How long you simple Israelites going to keep being evil to each other and not return to the Lord? How long are you simple ones are going to continue to play games like you got time to be BSing? The Most High is getting ready to bring devastation down on this whole system, and you still playing games. The warning is going out to you now. So these are words that's being said by the prophets of old and being said by the prophets of today. Read on.
How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
And you love stupidity. That's the simplicity. You love stupidity. Go ahead.
And the scorners delight in their scorn.
And you love to delight in your evil. You delight in lies. You delight in frolic and fornication and wickedness. You delight in that. Come on.
And fools hate knowledge.
And you become fools and you hate knowledge. But the prophets was blasting your behind, and they're going to continue to blast your behind like we're going to blast your behind until you get it right, because you are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
So you have to get it. So that's what we were reading here. Let's go back to that dictionary.
Yes, sir. On some occasions, the preachers appeared in public with visible signs, with implements of war, with yokes.
Some of the signs got images of war and missiles on it to again acclimate you to the reality of the Bible. Because you without these illustrations, a lot of times our people be like, oh man, that Bible that's old times. That's what they say. Some people talking about something that's outdated. Not even realize that the Bible's talking about nuclear war. So you would have to bring that up. With implements of war, go ahead.
With yokes of slavery.
Wait a minute. The prophets back then talked about how the Lord kept bringing us into captivity after captivity. Wow. We actually had signs when in our captivities.
And they was in captivity then.
Yes, we was in captivity then. We were going from captivity to captivity. Moab had us in captivity. Ammon had us in captivity. Assyria had us in captivity. Babylon had us in captivity. All of these areas, the prophets were saying, look, wake up. So this is what we're doing today. Come on.
or something.
And Lord, you damn sure can't forget about us having yokes of iron on our neck in Egypt. Right. In Egypt, we damn sure had it. I got pictures of that. They're showing the actual clay tablets that was erected from the wall of Ramses with chains on our necks, the wall reliefs on the walls where they actually sculpted the image of Israel with a yoke of iron on his neck. That's in the books. So we made signs to show you that the Bible is talking about you. Yokes of iron on our necks, that was us. And they were black. So that's, again, letting you know that the Bible is your book. So the purpose of these illustrations is to acclimate you for you to know that the Bible, the book of your fathers, is your book. And we will use illustrations. We will use these yokes of iron, slavery, implements of war, and the rest of it. Read on.
Yes, sir. With yokes of slavery or something adapted to their subject.
Or whatever the subject is, we will bring things out to illuminate, like we're going to bring out tonight. The issues of some of the psychological problems like we talked about last week. Okay? When we bring out the reality of what happened to us in history psychologically, where it messed our minds up so bad, and then we actually read that in the Bible, you again will know that you're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So all of these points are used to bring you into your book. That's what we did back then, and that's what we're doing now. This is beautiful. It said the preachers appeared in public with visible signs. Guess what one of those signs are? The 12 tribes of Israel. Let's read about it in the Bible. Ezekiel.
Amalek talking about like he been in slavery.
No, he ain't been in slavery at all.
We don't see them doing this, do we?
No, not at all. He going though. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. He gonna get his. He gonna get his. Ezekiel 37 and
We'll start at 16.
Yeah, where the verse is. Moreover.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16.
Now keep in mind what we just read out of this dictionary, where it says, because I'm looking at it on the screen. I know y'all don't have it up, but I'm gonna make it the point. It says that the preachers, meaning the prophets, appeared in public with visible signs, and then it said further on, with implements of war and with yokes of slavery. That's yokes of iron. We show all of that in camp. So we have a camp that's showing slavery. We have other camps that show about nuclear war. And we also show you the sign of the 12 tribes of Israel. And we're about to read that out the Bible. Let's read it.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16. Mm-hmm. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick.
Stick is wood. Take ye one stick. This is hip talk. Take ye one stick. Go ahead.
And write upon it.
If you're going to write on the stick has to be wide enough so you can put information on it. Go ahead.
For Judah,
you're going to write Judah on this stick. Go ahead.
And for the children of Israel.
And for the children of Israel.
His companions,
meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Those are the tribes that was pertinent to Judah, that was known as the southern kingdom. Read on.
Then take another stick.
Why is the Lord making the point about two sticks? Because the sticks are separated, just like the nation of Israel is separated. You had northern kingdom and you had southern kingdom. So they represented two nations at that time. So meaning because northern kingdom had went off into idols. And southern kingdom cast them off and said, these guys are like heathens. That's the reason why they were called heathens and Gentiles in the New Testament. Okay, read that again.
Then take another stick and write upon it. For Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. And for all the house of Israel, his companions.
Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Simeon. Those are the tribes there. The other tribes outside of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's 12 tribes total. Read on.
And join them one to another.
So this is, again, hip talk. So take the stick that's got the 3 tribes on it here, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and take the other stick that's got the 9 tribes, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Manasseh, Issachar, Zebulun, Asher. Thank you. Naphtali. So you got those tribes on that stick. Now, what did the Lord say? So you got the 2 sticks with names on them. Go ahead.
And join them one to another into one stick.
And join them together into one stick. Go ahead.
And they shall become.
And those 2 sticks shall be what?
shall become one in thy hand.
And those 2 sticks shall become one in thine hand. Go ahead.
And when the children of thy people
And when the Israelites, the children of thy people, come on,
shall speak unto thee, saying,
when they shall come to the prophets,
wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
what do you mean by Judah? What do you mean by Benjamin? What do you mean by Simeon? What do you mean by Ephraim? What do you mean by Gad, Reuben? What do you mean by that?
Say unto them.
So how are they going to say that if the tribes are not being shown on a sign for them to see it? There's the 12 tribe sign right there. So we had that too in the Bible. Now you see why they're trying to stop this truth, man. How in the world are they going to try to say that these so-called white people are the Jews when Moses passed for an Egyptian and the Egyptians are Hamitic? The Egyptians are Africans. Okay, they try to lie about all of them too. Damn. That's some evil right there, bro. But you cannot continue to legitimize your lie because the main power is coming to shut you down. You got the power now. You could just lie and just say, oh, the hell with that truth that y'all got because I'm powerful. But when the Lord put your lights out, you ain't going to be able to proclaim that lie any longer.
You know what's beautiful about what we read in Bishop? When you go back earlier in the chapter, it speaks about how we came back to the Lord as a nation, as a mighty, as a great, exceeding great army. And then as you read down, after we start to form, then we would get those signs and teach our people and show our people asking us what do you mean of this? It's just showing you
that's the whole history
right before our eyes.
Israel.
We've been seeing the Lord been bringing us back to
exactly. Ezekiel the 37th chapter is the whole house of Israel in American captivity. That particular chapter talks about us in this country. It ain't talking about us anywhere else. That is literally a prophecy about where we are today. That's what that's about. Like the book of Revelation 11 and 8, that's talking about us today. When it says after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them. That's happening right here. And that's the same thing that's happening in Ezekiel the 37th chapter and the 10 verses. Those 2 verses, in a lot of Bibles, they actually have the markings in it where the precept, where they put the numbers in it to show you where where it's talking about. It'll say Revelation 11.
They make it easy for you.
They make it easy because that's like I said. They know what they're lying about. Negroes didn't print these Bibles. White man printed them. So when they look at it, they say, "Okay, we got to keep this truth from these Jews, from the real Jews."
Remember, you wasn't supposed to be reading it.
We weren't supposed to be reading it.
Right.
And even today, they fooled our people to make them think that the Bible is the white man's book. So they'll never even read this. And they're comfortable in it, and they're laughing about it. They're like, look how we got them. And that's really a hell of a trip. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about a trip of like what somebody would say, a high trip, like you want to trip, like get high or whatever. Get high on, they're getting high while they're getting high on laughing about us. They said, look at that. We're going to put their truth right before them. And they laugh, and that's like an aphrodisiac to them. Damn, I can't even believe it. I went to the damn abyss with that one. But to see us hover around our own Bible, and we seem to not know anything about it, they love that. That's what that was in that thing with the movie, that movie where they had the little boy, when they said, show him on the slave.
Hell on Wells.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Can we find that clip?
Yeah.
Can we find that clip real quick? Hell on Wheels. I got to go back to all of this, but I just got to bring that part out.
And then here we come. We've learned the Bible, and and it's like they're like, hold up,
right?
What's this?
Right. Yeah. They said, how in the hell? Who learned you, Mim? That's what they're saying. Who learned you?
Little boy reading the Bible.
Yeah.
Hell on Wells.
They laugh at it. This is how they're looking at us when the Bible is really about us. Right. But they'll put it before they say, look, you don't know nothing about this. Jesus is white, ain't he? And you be like, yeah, Jesus is white, and the Bible is the blackest book ever. I ain't never read a book that was so pro-black and so anti-white, quote unquote, because there ain't no white people on this earth and there ain't no black people on this earth. But in terms of it being for one people and against another, this Bible is the most straight-up book that deals with those 2 points, without a doubt. Let's read that. Let's come on with it. Oh, they said them. Put scriptures in here. Damn. Somebody done went all.
Somebody broke it down.
Somebody done broke it down. We didn't want to break it down. We wanted the raw white man. We want the raw white man. He done broke it down, made it easy for him. Nah, man, no. Go ahead and play it if that's all we got, man. Wow. Because it's going to be distracted. The reason why I'm bringing this out is because I want y'all to see how that white man deals, and that's the point that I'm making. He'll put the Bible in front of us and say, what you read? I don't know, master. I don't know. They like that. They love that. Read? They go home and bang it. They'll take the wife, bang the hell out of her when they see. Hey. I done gone into the abyss, brother. But they get off on that. Looking at how they're looking at how messed up we are in terms of who we really are. That's an aphrodisiac to them. These people are sick as hell.
Hell no, nah.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, there's a reason why in 1837 we wasn't allowed to read. And
yeah.
That one Edomite, he knew the reason. He's like, hey, you taught him to read? What's
yeah,
he pretty much
exactly.
Like, what the hell wrong with you? You know how dangerous that is?
Right.
He's like, don't worry about it. He don't know what he reading.
Yeah, see that? Yeah. Come on, man, play it, because it look like we ain't going to find the right one. Is it?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything. Look at their eyes on you and to curry the favor, but with sin.
That's how. Hold it. Pause it. That's how. You see how the white man's looking at him. Esau's looking at him. He's looking at him like that little child. He don't know what the hell's going on, and he's bubbling with joy on the inside. Come on, woman. Let's get in the back and let's get it on, because this is an aphrodisiac today. That's he getting off on this daggone thing. That's how they think. Go ahead, man. Wow.
Real quick, he's watching him, boy, read his own history.
Yeah,
and he has so much confidence.
Yeah,
that he knows that he has
so much arrogance. Right,
and
but confidence is it too. They're confident in their brainwashing. You go on it.
Right. That he has no idea that the little boy don't know what he's talking about. That's what he's saying in his head.
Right. Exactly.
Go ahead, play it.
Only when their eyes on you and to curry the favor, but with sin.
That's how they looking at Kanye West. Pause it for a second. That's how he might as well be Kanye West. They're like, yeah, he's singing songs about Jesus and all that, saying different things. But hell, he don't know what's going on. But now all of a sudden, he said, oh, shoot, he done ran into them damn Israelites. Cut him off.
Yeah, he had to.
He said, so go ahead, play on.
Sincerity of the heart in referring to the Lord.
That's black people in church, by the way. Stop it for a second. That's basically black people in church. That's wow. Damn, that just hit.
You just hit it, Bishop.
That's black people in church. The white man said, give all the niggas Bibles.
Get them
and they all reading it, sitting up in there, jumping up and down, or even sitting still, and they have no clue that Bible is really talking about them.
So give them an NIV.
Give them an NIV. Hell, give them the Bible in Braille. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference because they get off on that. They get off on putting us around something that's supposed to wake us up, and they say to each other, we're gonna prove how dense and stupid the Israelites are. We're gonna put them in their own book. We're gonna put them in the presence of their own book. And that's what he's doing. He's standing up there with his Edomite friends.
And they won't even know it.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's how they do.
How old are you, boy?
I ain't been on yet, sir.
Pay up, gentlemen.
Pay up. They made a bet. Damn Lord, they made a bet. That's what they doing now. Hey, that's what they do in these movies.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's what they do in these movies. So I'm not going off. I'm not deviating. But that's what they do in these movies.
Pay up, gentlemen.
Yeah, the white man to make movies about us. We'll go sit in the theater, come out stupid, don't realize what the hell we just saw. Didn't realize that.
Talking about that's a good movie.
Talking about that's a good movie. I can never forget. You know the one I'm always talking about. Y'all already know. Natural Born Killers.
Oh, yeah.
Although it was about demons, let me tell you what the movie was about. In case somebody's out there listening and say, what the hell is Bishop talking about? The movie Natural Born Killers was about the white man, the white woman, and his children being the children of Satan. Period. That's what the movie was about. From the beginning to end. That's what the movie was about. All kinds of innuendos and straight up just showing you. That's what it was about. When the movie was over, we back in the old school, we actually went. This came out in '94. We were still at One West. We come out. And we in the lobby. You know how when we go to the movies, they got the concessions area and all. So it's the people coming out. We ask them, say, come here, brother. What you just see in there? And we got, we wearing our garments and all that. The brother said, TV messing with your mind. No. The other one said, talking about bad TV. No. The brothers and sisters that went in there to see that movie did not know what the hell they were looking at. Hence, the name of the movie would have told you. Natural born killers. Mm-hmm. They are naturally born demons. They were showing you throughout the whole movie that they were made from the seed of Satan. From the beginning to end. That's what they were showing you. And and Jake went to sleep on that. Didn't pick none of that up. Mm-hmm. Like the movie Posse. That was another movie. We went to see that one. Mm-hmm. We went to see Posse. And they had all kinds of stuff in there showing you, like the Promised Land. They were saying that the gold bullets was used to kill demons. Who they were killing? The white man. All throughout the movie, they had King David. There were certain names that Melvin Van Peebles put in the movie, and the people still didn't figure it out. So this is an example of that. Go ahead, play on, man. I'm getting beside myself, man.
Yes, sir.
Pay up, gentlemen.
Pay up. Made a bet. You think? Hey, they made a bet. Give them Natural Born Killers. Give them Posse. Let them put this out. Show them, put the Bible in their hands. They still won't figure out who they are. This is what it's saying. And basically they're saying, look how we got them.
Like a gauge for them, huh?
Yeah. Gross dark. But then a phenomenon come up, that's us. And now everybody's upset. Go ahead. Go ahead, brothers.
Time to read?
Back it up some more. Let's get the whole statement. Go ahead.
I ain't been on yet, sir.
Pay up,
how old are you, boy?
It's dangerous, teaching them to read.
Watch them.
That's true. Nat Turner was taught to read.
Hold it. What did he say? Oh, y'all missed what he said. Back it up. Yeah. Nat Turner.
Hey, you see what Nat Turner did?
He said, you got a Cicero here from Mandingo.
Yeah.
I ain't giving no, what he say? I ain't giving no lifetime sweating for this peck of wood. I'd rather die than be a slave.
Peck of wood.
And after you hang me, kiss my ass. They don't like that kind of spirit. Yeah. But go ahead.
You kill me.
You kill me.
That's true. Nat Turner was taught to read. Nonsense. Let me show you. Boy, can you explain to me the meaning of what you just read?
No, master.
Damn.
See? It's like a parrot reciting Shakespeare.
Damn.
Well done, Elam. Well done.
So that's how they're thinking. Mm-hmm. That's how they're thinking. Mm-hmm. Because Jake is really that sleep. But meanwhile, play on. Now this is basically, if y'all saw, let me just say this here. In the original Bible Book of Our Fathers that we did in New York many years ago, Bishop and I, the opening for the show, for the Bible Book of Our Fathers, featured a clip from the Mandingo with Meade and Mim and the white man, the slave master, and Cicero was teaching the brethren how to read in Mandingo, and the white man heard him. He heard something going on. He creep up and he opened the door. He said, "What you doing here, Mim? Let me see what you got there. Give it to me, Mim. Give it to me."
Who learned you, Mim?
He took the book. Damn. You can read, can't you? And write. Who taught you, Mim? No. Who learned you? Yeah, who learned you, Mim? It was you, huh, Cicero? That's Cicero there. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Play on. Yeah, this is beautiful. Nat Turner and the brothers, this is what they used to do. I got that in books. I should have brought them books in. I got to bring that information in. They used to do this. Nat Turner used to grab the brothers around and teach them. Go ahead.
Now I have heard the groaning of the Israelites whom the Egyptians hold in slavery. And I have remembered my promise. Say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord. And I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out from under their bondage. And I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Close the Bible.
All praise to the Most High. That's some good stuff right there, brother. That's some good stuff right there. But that's what the enemy is worried about. And he said, you know what? They ain't all stupid. And you see they popping up, ball players coming up saying something, entertainers saying something. And every time we turn on, we see another video coming out by these Israelites bringing this truth out. Sooner or later, we're going to have to deal with this. This is how they're talking. Mm-hmm. They said because they're threatening, just like it said in the scriptures, it said their doctrine is against our system. That part of the history, you know what I'm talking about? It said they have laws contrary to our custom. Right, right.
You want that, Bishop?
Well, yeah, halophides. Yeah, read that. Because this is how they're thinking.
I think it's 13.
Verse 13? 5 and 13?
Yeah, real quick. Let's just get that in. Because this is how they're viewing this truth. This is how they're viewing what we're doing. Yeah, they said they ain't all stupid. You better get that Bible from them. And the more of us that wake up, the more scarce this Bible going to become. They're going to try to get rid of this Bible completely. And that's what Christianity was designed to do. Even though you had the Bible in physical form, if your minds are all gummed up like a gummed up lock, you can't do nothing with it. You got the Bible, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. So they'll give you plenty of Bibles. But if you start to really figuring out, it's in this. If you start to figure out what this Bible is really talking about, then you got a problem. But yet, they say in God we trust. Yeah, really.
13 and 4.
Yeah, come on, read that.
Read it if you got it.
The book of Esther, chapter 13, verse 4. Declare unto us that in all nations throughout the world that was
this
scattered.
This was that demon Haman that was trying to get Israel killed. Read on.
Declare unto
that
us.
Edomite. Go ahead.
That in all nations.
The Agagite. Agag, one of the sons of Amalek. That's the so-called Jews today. Read.
Declare unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people.
They call us malicious. They're calling us a hate group. Same thing. Go ahead.
That had laws contrary to all nations.
Husband and wife, not boyfriend and girlfriend. So that message you see on television, that's against the scriptures. That stuff that they have on social media with women just selling just giving their behind to everybody, that's against the scripture. That's a whore. A man that's sleeping around with a whole bunch of women and ain't taking care of their children and all that, a whoremonger. The Most High, that's filth. Go ahead.
And continually despise the commandments of kings.
And continually despise lies. That's the commandment of kings is a lie. If it's a lie, yes, we despise it. We despise it. You pass laws for men to lay down with each other, we despise that. You pass a law for women to lay down with each other, talking about someday husband and wife. We ain't with that at all. We ain't gonna let no violence or go against anybody talking about hate group, but we are not condoning that among us. And because of that, you hate it. Go ahead.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended
So in other words,
by us,
so that sin cannot abound. We can't be demons 100% because these Israelites is in the way. That's their sentiment to us right now. I can't continue to brainwash these niggas in my church because these Israelites are catching these people when they come out on these blitzes. And they're waking the people up and showing them that they are the Israelites. So they're messing things up. Go ahead. We're the Cicero.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward.
Because the Bible is messing it up. But yet they say they believe in the Bible. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so where were we at?
Verse 5, Bishop.
Yeah, read.
Verse 5. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men.
You see that? That's what they're saying about us. In opposition. opposition. Because that's how they view us. That's another word for a hate group. So they hated the prophets. They hated the nation of Israel. They hate you so-called 12. They hate you 12 tribes of Israel. You ain't no so-called. You're a so-called Negro, but you are the 12 tribes of Israel. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Okay, where were we at? We done went all over the place. Let's get back to where we was at. We was reading.
We was on the dictionary?
No, we were past that. About the 12 tribes in Ezekiel. We was in Ezekiel, because they're not recognizing that they're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick.
That's the 12 tribe sign that we bring out in the camp so the people can see who they are according to the scriptures. Read.
And they shall become one in thy hand.
And the 12 tribes sign shall be one in your hand as you show it to Israel. Read.
And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying,
this is the part this is where we deviated from. And when the people say what's going on there, and we're telling them that they're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and the point that we were making is that our people are not being taught who they are. So our job is to show them that they are the Israelites, that the information that we're reading pertains to them. And I was further making the point where you actually mentioned it, that the whole 37th chapter is our whole sojourn in Babylon the Great. That's what that chapter, from the time that we were brought over here in slavery to totally being destroyed, to going through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, all the way up to when we resurrect, like it says in Revelation, after 3 days and a half. And then even after that, the Most High say he's going to deliver us out of here. All that's written in that one chapter. Beautiful. Go ahead.
Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Wilt thou not show us that we're the Israelites? Wilt thou not show us that we're the 12 tribes of Israel? That's what our job is. That's what we're doing. So again, we're making the Bible real to our people. That's the point. Okay, and that 12 tribe sign is in there. So let's go back to that writing in the dictionary. Then we're going to be done with that, and we're going to get on with our lesson.
On some occasions, the preachers appeared in public with visible signs.
That's the 12 tribe sign. That's the sign with the slavery. That's the sign with the implements of war. All of those things are used to illustrate the Bible, to acclimate our people who've been dumbed down with foolishness, to actually break through the psychological density so that they can see that they're the 12 tribes of Israel. Read.
With implements of war, with yokes of slavery, or something adapted to their subject.
Whatever we're teaching about, we're going to bring out visualizations to acclimate the people, to let them know that the things that we're bringing out is in the Bible. And that's what we're talking about with the psychological stuff. Right. Okay, so that's what we're going to go into momentarily. We're about to go into that subject a little bit now, a little bit heavier as we talked about last week. We were talking about some of these terms that these quote-unquote social psychologists was labeling us at, and it was all a trick to brainwash us, to make us believe that we were inherent slaves. Okay, so these are the things of what happened in trying to destroy us and to keep us in fear and to keep us in bondage, and spiritual bondage mainly. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with.
So a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
They gave lectures on these, held them up to view.
We hold up the signs so the people can see. Hold that 12 tribe sign up. Right. Hold them slave ships up. Hold them yokes of iron up. That's what we did. We reading. This is our history. We're the people. We're the people. Ain't no so-called white people did this. Well, you got to be kidding. This is really upsetting to me. Every time I think about it, I say, how in the world are these people going to call themselves Jews? And you want me to believe that they were the ones doing what we're reading? You got to be sick. And it's going to take us, because sometimes they hear us saying, some of our people are so messed up, they hear me talk like that. They say, why is it that they can't see the white people as the Jews? Because we've been born again. Because our minds have been transformed to understand that this is a black book, that this is the book of the Israelites. And can't nobody else perpetrate a fraud and get us to accept it. That's where you need to be. Go ahead.
Right, Bishop. And the so-called white man have this in the book. You can read this in the book.
Yes.
And then you can read it in the Bible. And then we'll go out there and we'll do this and they'll mock us.
Exactly. Just like what you was looking at with that boy reading the Bible. They say, look at it, no matter what you put around them, we got them so dense and stupid, they will not figure out that Bible belongs to them.
Look at them Power Rangers in purple.
Exactly. Exactly. They'll use that to make a joke out of it so that you won't see the seriousness of what you're dealing with.
Try to
minuscule it and downplay it. No, not at all.
Like you try to make you feel ashamed of what you believe in.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Yes. Brothers and sisters, we're gonna take a break, right? And we come back and we're gonna deal more on this subject. We're gonna get deeper now. We're gonna get deeper. Stay with us.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. Everybody came out here in the spirit of unity. You know what I'm saying? To get a job done, to get some cleaning going on in the community and in the neighborhood. It don't get no better than that. Shining our light, like the scriptures say. We got here to show our people. We got to clean ourselves.
It was in dire need of cleaning. There was some razor blades and stuff like that, and hazards that we actually cleaned up.
It's something that needs to be done. Sometimes you just got to be proactive. As you can see, the proactiveness. As long as it's being done with the right heart, the right aim, the right goal. And that goal is to clean up our streets so that we can live in more freedom.
Showing us, man, that only us can get our community together. Only we can work together in unity under, under the Most High and the faith of Christ and get things like this done. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big wide square blocks cleaned up in less than an hour. We got new people came out to work with us. So you know what? He said it's a beautiful thing that we could dwell together in unity. On unity, we could get everything together. But as individuals, it's going to be hard. That's why these other camps can't do it. You understand? Because they're individualized. They're not united under one organized nation for the Most High to get these things done. So all praises to the Most High. We got this thing done. We got the fundraiser done in the Swiss church. Came out here, did the community cleanup. And Lord will, likewise, we're going to be out here again, cleaning up a number of neighborhoods out here in South Central to bring this understanding to our people. All right? That's long Central. All right.
I don't know how long it's been, or how much longer it's going to be. We've been cramped together in this boat for what feels like 7 lifetimes. The phrase Bahamas keeps coming up. Whatever it is, I know it's not good news.
praise to the Most High. We're back, brothers and sisters. We're back. Oh, we're back. It's good to see those commercials. All praise to the Most High. The Hebrews Journal, they're doing an excellent job. I always like to give credit to the staff and the brothers and sisters that work with that section of IUIC. It's excellent stuff that they're putting out. Brothers and sisters, make sure that you subscribe to the Hebrews Journal. Okay, there's much information to keep you abreast with the news in Israel. Excellent interviews, excellent information about different products, health and wellness, all kinds of beneficial things that what a nation would supply. Okay, so that's, you can find our whole city, if you will, right there in black and white, and actually in color. So just subscribe to the Hebrews Journal, brothers and sisters. And I'm proud to say that I'm very happy to make many of the brothers and sisters acquaintance as we work together on many different things. So wonderful, wonderful team at the Hebrews Journal. Also, the brothers with the Detroit March. That was a beautiful display of unity, a beautiful display of organization and dignity. Okay, don't let nobody pour any water on our smoking. You dig it? You dig it? Okay, because the Most High, we looking good. We're looking sharp, and the brothers and sisters need to see that, because we are in the land of our enemies, and our enemies absolutely hate to see us doing anything except be on a drug needle, be in jail, be whole hoodlums, robbing and raping. But they hate to see us. Just think about that. They have no problem with us running through the ghetto, shooting each other, raping and leaving fatherless children. Right. They love that, going to jail in record numbers, But to see black men stand up and against the odds of all of those things pushed against us, they have a problem with that. That's amazing, but it ain't amazing because we know where we're at. One of the things that I like to point out about the description of what we have in our videos, and from time to time I always read this, and I like to point it out to you again. Okay, it's in the actual description of our videos. Israel United in Christ is a biblical organization that teaches the gospel of repentance from sin to our people that are scattered around the world as a result of disobedience of God's commandments. When you consider the plight of our people, it is one of turmoil and trauma. Our people are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and we suffer from a wide range of issues, from self-hatred and domestic violence to mass incarceration and economic exploitation. However, the Bible is the solution to our people's problems. So it's good for us to relish and understand what our mission is. We are to bring the gospel to our people, to clean them up. Okay, that's what this Bible is about, to resurrect the 12 tribes of Israel, because we are God's holy seed. We are God's holy children. We are his nation. Let us always remember that. But again, so I'm back into the subject of illuminating the Bible. Let's read that in Isaiah 14:3. Let's get it in.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. So again, I'm reading this to make the connection for our people to understand that they are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So the Lord says that it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord will give us rest from our captivity. This is what it's talking about. The rest from our sorrow, our broken mind. And we talked about that in depth last week. Our broken minds, our sorrowful minds, and feeling like there's no hope. We are people that are deprived of hope, deprived of aspirations. We're deprived of vision. And because we have no vision, we perish internally. We perish spiritually. And then we look for compensations. We look for analgesics, painkillers. We look for things to numb the pain of the reality that we have no hope. So that's where drugs come in, crack cocaine, right. Different things to keep us on the high, opioids and those kinds of things there, to suspend us from the reality of us being in a sorrowful state. So the Lord got to take us from that. But if the people don't have any hope, they will think that that is their end. Okay? No, your end is the kingdom, brothers and sisters. We only was brought over here in this captivity because we broke the commandments of God. But once we repent, the Lord is going to fight for us, and he's going to kill our enemies. And I love that. Okay? We got to have somebody on our side.
Okay, think about how the whole world. Give me Micah 4:10 and 11, both verses. Micah chapter 4 verse 10. We need to realize where we are and get the reality of what we need to do to get out of this. Okay, and if we face the fact about the sorrow, the sorrow that we live in. And the sorrow of mind, sorrow of spirit, no vision, no drive to do anything great. People see us do the things that we think, and they are looking at it like it's a phenomenon. You understand? Yes, it's a phenomenon in terms of the enemy wanting to keep us down, but it's easy for God to raise up the 12 tribes of Israel. What we're doing, but some of our people, when they see this, they are in awe. They're like, wow. And what's amazing about it is that we grew up in the same communities where our brothers and sisters are. So we're not from outer space. And I understand that concept. I understand it because when I first saw the brothers, even though they didn't look nowhere near as good as we look today, you understand? That purple, man, we look good out there. But what I'm saying is that when I first saw the brothers had their garments on, the studs and all of that, and I didn't know nothing about that. And not realizing, I said, when I saw them come down with the confidence and the boldness and how they taught and how they were dealing in the streets, I'm like, these guys are not from here. You understand? These guys beamed down, tore the place up, Times Square, and then boop, went back up. These guys cannot live. So that's how you would, in your mind, you'd be like, but they here, but it's so different. You'd be like, well, where do these guys live at? And that's basically the same thing what's going on with us now. When people see us in that order, see us that way, we are the same brothers and sisters that live right around the corner from you, that work on the same jobs as you and all of that. Right. But when the Lord unites his people, that's the beauty that can come from it. So that's the point that I'm making. Where we at? Read that.
Micah chapter 4 and verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail.
The Most High said for us to be in pain and labor. We got to work in this vineyard, brothers and sisters. We got to put our bricks in. We got to fight for our kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. That's what we have to do. The hell with this setup here. Yes, you got to work on your jobs. We got to be law-abiding, all of that. We would tell you that a million times. We never would advocate violence or anything like that. But in terms of your allegiance, you got to give your allegiance to the Most High. For your nation. This is about you. Read that again. Be in pain.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion.
To bring forth the kingdom. Bring forth, O daughter of Zion, the Israelites. Read.
Like a woman in travail.
Like a woman in travail. The Most High is going to bring it. He's going to bring it closer to birth. The Most High he's going to speed it up. All of us coming together, the Most High is going to bring all of these contractions, if you will, of us waking up in pockets, and it's going to come down to the big baby. When that baby is born, we getting the hell out of here.
Right.
Read on.
For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon.
That's captivity and Babylon the Great. That's what it's talking about. Watch this.
There shalt thou be delivered.
There we shall be delivered. In ancient Babylon, we weren't delivered. We went from Babylonian captivity to the Persians and the Medes. When we get delivered out of this, we ain't going into captivity no more. So that's talking about us now. Read.
There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemies.
That didn't happen during the time of Babylon. What you tell me the Lord gonna redeem us from one set of enemies and put us in another? No, that the redemption is talking about now. When we get out of this captivity, we ain't going into captivity no more. No more. Read.
Now, also many nations
So the Lord wants us to know something. That's what the 11th verse is going to talk about. Read on.
Now, also many nations are gathered against thee.
Many nations are gathered against the Israelites. That's what you blacks and Hispanics need to understand. These nations hate us. These nations hate us. That's why Psalms 83 says what it says. They have come together under one consent. They are confederate against thee. And their whole objective was that the name of Israel may be no more in their remembrance. I mean, if the proof is exactly what's happening to the brothers that try to say we are the Jews. Right. And the minute they say that, you see the oppression come down on us hard.
It's a dead giveaway.
It's a dead giveaway to let you know that these are the Israelites, and it is never for them to say they're the Israelites. That's the crystal clear, easy to understand. But again, my people don't read the Bible. They don't know the Bible, so they don't realize that what they're seeing is actually prophecy in the scriptures. Read it. You finished with that verse?
No, sir. Now also many nations are gathered against thee.
I want Psalms 83 as well.
Yes, sir. That say, let her be defiled.
Let her be defiled with false nationality, with the name Negro. That's defiled. Calling us out of our name, calling us Negroes, calling us Hispanics and Puerto Ricans. That's defiled. The scriptures say that. In the Baruch it says that we are defiled with the dead. That's why they call us Negroes.
And that goes into them wanting us to be continuing sin.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Black on black crime and
Yes.
selling dope to one another.
Absolutely.
So when we bring it out, it's a big uproar. They don't want us to fix our community.
Right. Exactly. Read.
Let her be defiled.
That's what they say. Let her be defiled. That's exactly what they're saying. If any of us get on a wide platform and read the Bible, just read that Christ is black. Just read it. And there will be all kinds of uproar. I mean, how clear do you need things to be? Let the black man, the Israelites, get up in church and read. You remember the brother that came into here? He spent the Sabbath with us a couple of times. He never came back no more. They got to him. You remember him, right?
Yep.
He said that's what happened. He showed his congregation, black congregation.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that the Bible says that Jesus is black. And they basically threw him out the church with his Bible. Get out, you and the Bible. Threw him and the Bible out. But yet they in church.
With your black Jesus.
With your black Jesus. Right. And it's in the Bible.
That's the heavy part. And it's in the Bible.
And his Bible. Told you get that Bible out of here. Your Bible is messed up.
But it's in here.
And it's in here. He's trying to tell them that. Damn. That's crazy. That literally happened, brothers and sisters. We had a congregant that came here and went through that. Wow. Where we at?
Let our eye look upon Zion.
Right. Let our eye look upon Zion. Now, let's go to, you have something?
I wanted to say, Bishop, because in that verse, I mean, it goes with Judith as well.
Yes, sir.
But what they're saying is the nations, as you've been saying, they're paying attention.
Right.
They're putting sin out there for us, right? To keep us indoctrinated so we can't understand the Bible. And then they're keeping their eye out on the ones that are changing to make sure that they're keeping a muzzle on it. That's what it's saying in there.
Yeah, that's heavy. Read that in the Psalms.
Yes,
I'm about to get my video in a minute.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
The enemies of God are the nations. For many nations are gathered against us. That's what we read out of Micah. Read.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate you, Lord.
Hate thee have lifted up the head.
They lifted up their head against the Most High because they enslaved his people. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
This is what the prophet is saying. He's saying, listen, Lord, they have taken crafty counsel against your people. That's why he said thy people. The enemies, the nations have taken, that the nations that are against us have taken crafty counsel. Crafty counsel is give them a Bible with their information in it, but trick their heads so that they'll never know that they're the Israelites. Even though they will read Isaiah 1 and 3, the ox knoweth his owner, and the jackass knows where his land is at, but Israel does not know that they're the Israelites. That's in the Bible. Our people will read that and still can't figure that they're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. The yokes of iron and the slave ships is in there. It's in the Bible. They will read it and still talk about some weird Negroes. There ain't no such people as that. We're black. We're African Americans. There's no such people as that. That's what this is talking about, that crafty counsel. Tell them in school that they're Africans and African American and all of that. African American. After two white men, Africanos and Amerigo Vespucci.
Right.
How in the hell could you be the child of two men? The two men came together and banged somebody, and you're the seed of two men? Some of this stuff is just ridiculous. Just to try to make sense out of a hyphenated nationality. When your nationality comes from your nation. We're the Israelites because we come from the seed of Jacob, which is Israel. That's why we're the Israelites. Okay? Now, read on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have consulted against thy what?
Hidden ones.
We are hidden. The children of Israel are hidden. So we're not known in the streets. We're not known. So if we're hidden, give me Revelation 2:9. If we're hidden, then who are these people?
They're supposed to be hidden too, huh?
Yeah, they're supposed to be hidden.
Revelations chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
That's the hidden ones that Christ is speaking about. But thou art rich. I know your tribulation. What does it say?
I know thy works.
Thy works and our tribulation and poverty. Because we've been robbed. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But we're the Israelites. We're the true Jews. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of
the Lord is saying that the white man is a blasphemer by calling him. Do you realize what that statement means? That he is absolutely taking on a nationality that has absolutely nothing to do with him by calling him the seed of God. And when really they're the seed of the devil. That's blasphemy. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
That's Jesus Christ saying that himself. And they are not the Jews, but they call themselves the Jews. And there's so many of them, they're not hidden at all. They keep pushing these fake people in your face, talking about these are the Jews, these are the Jews, these are the Jews. But the Bible and the truth said that the Jews are hidden. The real Jews are hidden.
Right.
Hidden under a false nationality, hidden under African American. No such thing as that. Our history is hidden. Why is there such a controversy about who we really are? We used to have a show called The Controversy of Black History in New York years ago. There's a controversy to even mention Christ as black. The light's going to go out if you say that. Somebody going to get fired. Huh?
Hit the button, Harvey.
Hey, believe me, they've done stuff like that. They've done stuff like that. Pulled the plug on the radio show. Pulled it. Go ahead.
Them which say they are Jews.
The blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
And are not.
They are not the Jews.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
So Christ said, let me tell you who they really are. They are the synagogue of Satan. So God is telling you that these people that's calling themselves Jews are the devil. They're no different from the regular white people, so don't get it twisted. So anti-Semitic. Lord have mercy, even that's just ridiculous. The brother said it. He said, how in the world could we be anti-Semitic when the Semites are black? That's what he was saying. They went after him anyway. They said, you can't say that. Okay? And they hate that man, Arthur Koestler. Arthur Koestler said, he says, if this truth really gets out, that whole term of anti-Semitic will become void of meaning. He said, and he said that in his book, he said, the 13th tribe. It's amazing that the book was called the 13th tribe because the 12 tribes of Israel are black. If the white man is going to be a Jew, you'd have to add another tribe because the real 12 tribes are black. That's why he called it the 13th tribe, saying they're not Jews. And he's talking about his own people. They killed his ass too. They killed his ass too. They killed him. They trying to say he jumped out of a window and committed suicide. They always do stuff like that. They're very nice with their disposal business. They're very nice at the disposal business. Make you think that you choked on a chicken bone or something. They know how to get rid of you. Where we at?
Back to Psalms?
Yeah.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against the people of God.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
We're the hidden. The real Jews are hidden. You try to bring the information out about the 12 tribes of Israel, they said don't bring that out. They even try to say that the quote-unquote chart. I don't like to use that word because it sounds like something that we made up. The 12 tribes sign is what the Bible is talking about, with the names of the tribes on them. That's biblical. Okay? They don't want to acknowledge that. Which one of these tribes are these so-called Jews? The tribe of the Hun? That's the tribes that they are. Them Caucasus Mountain tribes. Right. Okay? Amalek, that's your tribe. Okay? Agag, that's your tribe. Okay? The Agagite, that's your tribe. Yeah, that's your tribe. Read.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation. What did the Bible says? There's many nations that are gathered against thee. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's the whole purpose, to delete the name of Israel from our minds. If these so-called Jews were the real Jews, why are they not doing that to them? See what I'm saying?
Right.
People know what I'm saying is factual. If they are the Jews, how come they don't fit that?
Right.
Every day they're trying to reaffirm that these fake people are the Jews, but the Bible says that all of the nations will be against the Jews knowing that they're the Jews. Let me say that again. Let's read it again.
Yes, sir. Psalms chapter 83 and verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So the real Jews are cut off from being a nation. That's why they broke us up and said that you're a West Indian. These are the Native American Indians, so y'all are separated. Simeon and Levi are brethren. They're two tribes in Israel, the Haitians and Dominicans. But they said, no, y'all are separated. Even separated them by time zone. Even the times are different. Wow. On the same Hispaniola island. Yes, there's an hour difference. So they can't even communicate. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel may be no more in the remembrance of the real Israelites. That's crystal clear. So if you're trying to say that these so-called white people are the Jews, how come people are not trying to tell them that what they're going to say that that's what we're doing? Wait a minute. Are they trying to say that we are the nations that's against them by saying that, listen, that we came together and said that the name of Israel may be no more in the mind of the so-called white man calling himself a Jew? We're the nations that's doing that?
They're trying to put that spin on it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just thought about that.
What power
are they
do we
trying
have?
to? We're so powerful that we're stopping them. We made them hidden. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. No, we're the hidden ones.
Right.
The 12 tribes of Israel, we're hidden. And they hid us under lying nationalities and doctrines. That's what happened. And we're fighting so many different wars, just trying to wake up. Okay? These are the traumas that we've been dealing with. And that's the reason why when I was talking about post-trauma, PTSD and stuff like that, all of these things, because there was so much that was done to break us. Now I'm about to get into that stuff. Let's get into some of the stuff. Let's go to, I'm going to bridge myself into these things here. Let's get some slavery. Let's go back to slavery. Let's go to slavery. Then I'm going to get my video. Go to the books that I put up there last week. You got to come out of this. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Get rid of that. I don't need that no more. Just close that out. That's the book I need right there. Show that again. They stole it, but you must return it. Now we're dealing with that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. How did they make us forget that we're the Israelites? Because it ain't these white people that you call Jews. It's what happened to us. You was reading in that Bible, right? In that 4th verse?
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Psalms chapter 83, verse 4. They have consulted, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That really happened when we came to America. When we was in Africa, we still knew that we were Jews. There's books on it. We had a whole fortress to ourselves, Fort Judah. So we knew that we were the Israelites over there before we was put on the ships. When we got to America, they put us in this factory that destroyed all of our characteristics about who we really were. They really destroyed us over here. And that's what this book is talking about. Read that again, officer.
Yes, sir. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
So the Lord got to deliver us from this. That's the reason why I'm reading in this verse in Isaiah 14:3, where the Lord said that he said that it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from our sorrow and from our fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. That's in Isaiah 14:3. So we're going to show you hard bondage of what they did to us. But while we're doing that, look at what they did. They had to really come together to make sure that the name of Israel be wiped away from us. You know what kind of work that took to cause it to be gone so bad to the point where it's hidden underneath a false name. Changed our names. changed our nationalities, changed our reality, raped our women, sent our kids to wherever. Just sent them all. That kind of damage just destroys the human characteristics almost of anybody. That's what we went through. That's why Daniel said what it says. Okay, no other people went through what we went through. So we really, really caught the real sting of the latch. We got beat with the belt buckle, and knocked our eyes out of socket, knocked our teeth out, cut us in the head. That's what it took to get the name of Israel out of our people's minds. It took that kind of abuse. Abuse. That's another thing too, because trauma from slavery is, and I got that in these records. Trauma from slavery goes through the course of your veins and into your unborn children. It's passed down. I'm going to bring some of that stuff. Thank God I got some time to deal with it. I'm going to deal with it. PTSD and what's known as, there's another term that's known as exaggerated startle response. Okay, where you always feel like you're on guard and jumping because you feel like paranoid, like somebody's always trying to get you. That's how we live.
Yeah, right.
That's how we live. That's the scripture says. Let's read. See, I'm jumping all over the place now. Where you at?
Psalms 83. Okay,
so we read that. Give me in Leviticus. I'm going to read exaggerated startle response right now. But I'm going to read about exaggerated startle response. Put my thing up there. We're coming back to this book. Because I'm going to come back to this here. Go to the page that I showed y'all earlier. It's out of that. Come out of that. Yes, these pages. It was, hang on. It's beyond that. It was one page. I think it's down there at the bottom. That one there. Open that. Let me see what that is. Exactly. Now, give me the book. Give me Leviticus. Leviticus 26, I think it is, one of those verses that says a shaken leaf. There ain't no so-called Jews living through this. You got to be kidding me. This is us, brothers and sisters. What is our job? To illustrate the Bible, to let you know that this Bible is talking about you. You found the verse? I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, that's it. 36?
36? Yes. Quote the scriptures.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 36.
Let me get it. I want to deal with that thing a little bit. Leviticus what? 26. 26, I know it's that.
26, 36.
Okay. 26, 36.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness.
Because the Most High got angry with us because we broke his laws. And the Most High was going to deplete his nation down to damn near nothing. He's saying, the ones of you that survive, I'm going to bring even more things to destroy you completely because we disobeyed God. Read the verse again.
Yes, sir. And upon them that are left alive of you.
You in verse 36, yes.
I will send a faintness into their hearts.
I will send a faintness into your minds. God said he would do this to us. He will send a faintness into our minds. Read.
In the lands of their enemies.
In the lands of our enemies. Wait a minute. The so-called Jews don't fit this. They ain't faint about nothing. We're the ones that live in terror.
Right.
Paranoid. Schizophrenic. Mental episodes. Outbursts. Exaggerated startle response. PTSD. All of these things. This is us. Read.
And the sound of a shaken leaf.
And hold it. This is PTSD right here. This right here is exaggerated startle response. When shall a shaken leaf make you afraid? When you've been terrorized. Read.
And the sound of a shaken leaf.
And the sound of a shaking leaf.
Shall chase them.
Shall chase them.
And they shall flee as fleeing from a sword.
You see that? That's paranoid. That's exaggerated startle response. That's some heavy deal right there. See, brothers and sisters, this is what the job of the teachers are supposed to do. They're supposed to go inside the Bible and pull your reality to you, to let you see that what you're going through is in your book. For you to understand that this Bible is talking about you and ain't talking about them so-called Jews. It's talking about you. Read that again.
Yes, sir. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts.
I will send a faintness into their hearts. Let's now, we got to do some movements now. What caused the faintness? Give me hold that. We're coming back here. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and verse, 49.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
48 and 49.
Verse 48. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness.
In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. Do you know what we had to do to get food in slavery? Do you know the kind of hoops and the different feats, F-E-A-T-S, the different things, the hoops that we had to jump through just to get a plate of food, just to get some food in slavery, just to get water, just to get anything, to get married. You want to marry so-and-so, you want to marry this sister in the slave quarters over there, you want to get with her, and the so-called white man said, hell no, I want you with this one. And just switch you just like that. And make you and the other one lay down, and y'all ain't got no, y'all ain't got no affection towards each other. Of course, we black woman, black man, we in slavery. And they would beat us. And sometimes the sister might be the wife of another brother. I've seen documents on that. Mm-hmm. And will make the man lie down with the man's wife. And he was like, that's my friend. They said, well, if you don't lay down with her, we'll castrate you. And we'll make him lay down with this man's wife. Then when they in it, then they go get the husband and make him watch. That's what this damn bastard did to us in slavery. That's the reason why we're so messed up. This is the kind of stuff that we went through. This is what makes us afraid of a shaking leaf. Read.
And in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon our neck. That's what he did to us. Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until our minds are destroyed, to where it's nothing but sorrow and bleakness, no vision, no aspirations, no confidence, nothing. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
The white man, that's the one that did this. Esau was the one that put the yokes of iron upon our neck until he has destroyed us. The Africans didn't do that. The Africans did not keep yokes upon our necks until we were destroyed. They kept them long enough for us to be sold to the white man. He was the one that kept the yokes on our neck until our minds were completely broken to the point where it said, well, I don't have to keep the physical chains on no more, because now their mind is the chain that I was really trying to get to. Right. Now we're broken in our minds. Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Go ahead.
A nation of fierce countenance.
Go ahead.
Which shall not regard the person of the old.
That's this virulent bastard that destroyed our people. That's the reason why I wanted the verse. Read that statement right there.
A nation of fierce countenance.
The white man, Esau.
Which shall not.
He said a nation of fierce countenance. Man, when you check out the evil and the robbery that this man has done all over the planet to the 12 tribes of Israel, I got some information. I didn't bring it in. The General Rochambeau. Brothers in Haiti should know about this man. This is some Haitian history here. He was a French general that wanted to turn the island back into slavery. And I mean, he went and destroyed anybody that was black that looked like they was even free. He did some vicious stuff. I should have brought that information in. Okay. And you had revolutionaries like this brother named Boukman, who was credited for starting the Haitian Revolution to fight against the French imperialism. Okay, and you should read and learn about the terribleness of what this general did to the brothers and sisters when they went to Haiti. Okay, read that again.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old.
So these people were vicious, like what they did in Hispaniola. The same kind of destruction. How they through our brothers, they dug out pits and had spears in the pits and they threw the young women and the babies and the moms in the pits where they would be impaled. Their bodies were impaled on the spikes. That's what they did. That's what they did. And they got illustrations in books showing you how they did that. That's the kind of cruelty that we're talking about. These are the kind of people that put us in the condition that we're in now, to the point where we are scared of a leaf. That's what I want y'all to understand. Read that again.
A nation of fierce countenance.
A nation of fierce countenance. Go ahead.
Which shall not regard the persons of the old.
Which will not regard the persons of the old. Think about the Tuskegee experiment. That's some trauma right there. The Tuskegee experiment. They injected these men with the most virulent form of syphilis and never allowed them to be treated with syphilis. Did not even know that they were given syphilis. They were being experimented on and didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. Lied to them, talking about they had bad blood. Got them in there and used a black woman as the nurse that helped the experiment go on. And these men, later on, many years, a lot of them died. Never knowing. There was a few remaining ones that was left, and they finally learned that they were used in an experiment many years ago. Think about that as a traumatic effect. And that happened to a real human being. Happened to a real man. There ain't no figment. There ain't no fictional character. That could have been me. That could have been any of these brothers. Real human beings went through that by this bastard.
Hey, Bishop, and they know that could have been them. How do they know that? Because to this day, our people are scared to go to the doctor.
Exactly. That's trauma.
Right.
I have articles on that. The reason why we don't trust the medical field is because of that. Mm-hmm. I'm that way. I'm scared of them. I'm like, no.
I'll wait this one out.
I'll wait. I know they're trying to kill me. I know they're trying to kill us all. Hey, listen to me. I ain't saying that they're trying to kill me more than any of us. That's an uppity nigga. That's how they see us. You understand? Uh-huh. And don't look at that like it's me, like it's just me. They want all. If we're not buck dancing and slaving and loving it with a big cheese grill on our face, Sambo, they want us dead.
If we're not defiled the way that they want,
exactly.
Us to be
They said we have no use for you.
Yep.
You're a hate group. Shoot. Where we at? Read.
Yes, sir. Verse 49. 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's the kind of virulent evil that they've done to us. They had no favor to the old people, the Tuskegee experiment, to the babies. Even like when I talked about with Hispaniola, they were chopping babies up, throwing them up in the air, and as they were cut, they throw the young baby up. Santo Domingo, Dominicans. Mm-hmm. Throw him up in the air and then take his sword and see if he can slice him in two before the body hit the ground. That's on record. And they would never, just imagine, because some of them had to survive. They saw that. If that ain't trauma, there's no such thing. You've seen your mothers get hacked to pieces. You've seen your fathers get tarred and feathered and ripped apart by horses. That's going to go through the veins of your children. And we basically nursed punk milk when we come out now. Come out of the womb scared. That's what this man did to us.
And even when you look at the 7 sons,
exactly,
boiled them alive.
Yes, in front of the mother.
In front of the mother.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. The same white people, by the way, that did that.
That fierce continent.
That's
what that means.
Fierce continent. Right, fierce continent's like, what's this guy's name? James Marin Sims. You ever heard of him? It's a guy that, so-called doctor that came up with gynecology. And what's the things that he did? He experimented on, because this was in slavery. He experimented on our people,
right,
without anesthesia,
exactly.
None of that. That's all that pain
exactly
our women had to go through just so they can do what they do today.
They did that to the Puerto Rican women. I had books on that too. They did that to all of the tribes. Sterilized them and all of that.
Right.
They ain't did that to these so-called Jews.
Right.
They ain't did none of that to them. Where we at?
You want to go back to Leviticus?
Yes, because that's what I need. Get that Leviticus again.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies.
So the faintness that's in our hearts is what we're talking about. Exaggerated startle response. Let's get it up on the screen. Now, I had to look this up. And this is pulled from, if you scroll down, you can see that there's a, let's move it down so they can see that there's a source from where this came from. You see that? Written by Jessica Zubaka, NS, I forget what that said, but it's a registered nurse. That's who wrote it, okay? Let's see, to learn more about the symptoms, ethology, the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder, view the symptoms, media, video, case study. So there's different recommendations where you can find out about this. But let's go to the top. References, that's the word I was looking for. Okay, exaggerated startle response. We want to find out what this is.
Yes, sir.
What is exaggerate? Oh, you want to read it?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
What is exaggerated startle response in PTSD?
Now, why am I bringing this out? Because this correlates with what happens with our kids in school. They said our boys, they call it what they call it, HD. What's that thing they call ADHD? They got another one that say he's hyper. He can't be still. This is exaggerated startle response. Let's get the whole word. Pull it up again so they can see the top of it, so they can see the full word. Okay. Now let's read.
Exaggerated startle response.
Now we correlate this with Leviticus. Okay, what we was reading in Leviticus.
What is exaggerated startle response?
What is it? In
PTSD.
In PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-trauma stress disorder. That's what's on the post-trauma, meaning trauma that comes after the event. Trauma is the result of being abused, like you talk about child abuse. A child that's they even understand that with dogs. Like if you go like the ASPCA, they're talking about like if you could go to the animal shelters and take a dog out and you want to adopt the dog, they'll give you some history on it. I used to know somebody many years ago. Girls, they ain't going into that, but that worked in there, and they said that's they give some kind of records on these animals. So some of these animals have a record of being abused, and when the abuser is gone, long gone, a whole new person is trying to care for the animal, and the animal is twitchy, scared, jumping around, scared, because it remembers the trauma that it went through earlier, scared to death. Go ahead,
Bishop. They got a movie about that. It's called Dog. A dog. He's a war dog, and he supposedly saved people, this, that, and this. But the dog got so messed up in war. His owner died. He got so messed up in war. He was supposed to be transferred to the other side of the country.
Right.
And a new owner, like you said, had to take him. The dog was messed up.
Yeah.
The dog was messed up.
So if that happened to a dog, imagine what happens to us.
Right.
We abuse like children. Just like we're gonna read some of the abuses. I got them in these records. So it's no mystery as to how what we just read in Leviticus fit what we're talking about.
Right.
Okay. So let's read this thing here.
Yes, sir. What is exaggerated startle response in PTSD? People with PTSD may always feel on guard.
That's black people. Driving down the street. Most of us, our license is clean. Ain't like I said at times, ain't never been in trouble with the law or nothing. You dig it?
Yes, sir.
Because we tiptoeing around every damn thing. You feel me? And it doesn't make one better or another. I'm just making a point that it doesn't matter who we are. We all feel that. Whether we been inside the big house as they call it or not. All of us share the same trauma. Might get pulled over driving on a lonely highway somewhere. And these people love to feel that. They love the fact that we're terrorized. They don't like no confident black man. to be driving and they be like they want to see fear in you. They want to see you terrorized.
And Bishop, they don't feel like that. I remember that video that you pulled up of the guy getting pulled over.
Yeah.
And then he was about to, I think he was about to get out. He stopped. He saw the puddle, and then he moved up some more. We would never do that.
We would never do that.
We would never do that.
The dude said, I don't want to get my shoes wet, so I'm going to pull up. You ain't supposed to jump out the car, period.
Right,
You're being detained. So he pulls up further and said, I got some words. You better check the registration on that vehicle, buddy.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He just gave it to him. Black people would never do nothing like that.
Because you know the consequences behind it.
Yes.
You know the fear that
The
comes
minute
with
you would open the door, bling, bang, 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 bang. He's a gorilla. He's a hate group. He had on a purple shirt.
I seen a gun.
I seen a gun.
He said the cop door closed, he is closed.
Exactly.
Remember, the guy that got shot at the gas station.
He getting out too.
Boy, that's something else. Go ahead, man.
No, but the guy at the gas. Remember, there was one where the guy was at the gas station. The cop told him to get his wallet. Mm-hmm. He turns around to go in the car to get his wallet, and he shoots him. And he says, "What you shoot me for? You told me to get my wallet."
Yeah. That was a brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Because they were told that we are gorillas, we are, all that other stuff. So they already come hyped up anyway. Because that's their education. You're not stopping a human being. That's what they tell some of these guys. You're stopping a gorilla. You're pulling over a monkey. You're pulling over a savage. You're pulling over a nigger. That's how they talk to him. So be ready to deal with niggers. And he'll get out. But then if it be a white man, and you realize that, let me show you how far the trauma goes. Because of that color line, so to speak, that's the reason why a lot of us, we hate our blackness because we think our blackness is a curse. Meaning, when I say a curse, we know that we're going to get stopped twice as much if they see my dark skin, rather if I look light-skinned. Or if I look almost white. If I get the blonde hair, and if I can make myself look white, get the blue contact lenses, and if I can pass for white, I might be able to escape some of this terror. That's how some of us think. So it's a real evil thing that they put on us, where you actually end up hating your own skin. Because you say, this skin is going to get me killed. So if I can look different, if I can look like white people, maybe they'll love me. That's how bad it goes. There ain't no so-called white people going through that. That's the kind of climate that they put for us. Where we at? Yes, let's read.
People with PTSD may always feel on guard or hyper-vigilant and have a
hyper-vigilant. Go ahead.
And have a heightened startle response.
Have a heightened startle response. Go ahead.
Often observers may note an exaggerated startle response.
They may note an exaggerated startle response or jumpiness. That's the word I wanted. Or jumping. That's what it's talking about. That jumpiness. Go ahead.
As another potential indicator of PTSD.
As another potential indicator of post-trauma stress disorder. Now, look at some of the symptoms of PTSD.
Symptoms of PTSD. Symptoms of PTSD vary from person to person. But some of the more common symptoms include...
Meaning the ones that's common to black people. Go ahead.
Include nightmares.
We have nightmares. Hyper-vigilance. Go ahead.
And a heightened or exaggerated startle response.
That's where you just twitch it and the leaf. That's the leaf there. The leaf that shakes. That's us. Go ahead.
There are 4 clusters of PTSD symptoms.
So they're gonna this thing here outlines 4 clusters of 4 groups of PTSD symptoms. We're gonna read about all 4 of them. Read it.
Re-experiencing symptoms, flashbacks, physical or emotional reactions when reminded of the traumatic event.
That's what they do to us every day. We're reminded. Whenever we see a black man shot, that's the recurrence. That's why it's important for us to understand this term called collective injury. We're here in New York. Well, I'm saying New York. We're here in, I'm forgetting where I'm at. Damn. We're here in North Carolina. We'll see Rodney King get beat across the damn country, and we will feel that. Because we can relate to that. Right. That's the collective injury. Yep. When we see our brothers get shot, this and that and the other, we all feel that because we've all been traumatized collectively. We share that. Go ahead.
Avoidance symptoms. Avoiding anything that reminds them of the event.
So this causes you to be what they call a introvert. This causes you to not be able. This affects your social life. Wow. Go ahead.
Negative changes, mood swings, irritability.
This is what happens to your children in the school system, in the classroom. What's wrong with your son? He's always agitated, such and such. Go ahead.
Withdrawal from loved ones.
Because you don't trust anyone. Go ahead.
Hyper-arousal symptoms. Heightened startled response. Hyper-vigilance.
So as you can see, these are some severe characteristics of post-traumatic stress disorders. And these are the symptoms that we all see in each other as a result of these terrible things that has happened to us. So move down. Let me just get to something that's more common in the language. I'm looking at the paper here. Let's see. People with PTSD may feel on guard. Right there at startle responses.
Yes, sir. Can y'all blow it up just a little bit more?
I'm just trying to, because I didn't mark some of this. I just want to see what it says before I read it. They got something here about treatment at the bottom. I'm gonna go from here to something else. See what it says. Support is critical, because we essentially read these other things. No, those who have, see in the middle, those who have PTSD may not exhibit.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Those with PTSD may essentially be.
No, may not exhibit the same symptoms all the time. Is that what we're looking at?
Right. Okay. Those who have PTSD may not exhibit the same symptoms all of the time.
Go ahead.
Some may come and go, while others may be more persistent.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It is essential to take all signs seriously and understand that while certain situations may not seem anxiety-provoking to the general public, they may elicit a severe startle response from someone with PTSD.
Read on.
People living with PTSD are often mindful of these triggers.
The triggers is the sirens. The trigger is we hear a gunshot. The trigger could be anything. And all of these different things remind us of we are constantly reminded every day of trauma, especially if you live in the city. There's situations that's going on all the time where you're constantly on edge. Go ahead.
Especially after seeking treatment.
Even when they were dealing with the COVID vaccinations. Black people were traumatized. That's another example. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were worried like they're trying to poison us because we already know about the Tuskegee deal. Black people were scared to death. And they had to do all kind of evil to get us to try to go with that thing. Talking about some vax it up. They even paid niggas. They even paid black people to make a daggone frolic video about you can't get no behind if you don't vax it up. That, bro, I tell you, the insult is absolutely, the insult to our intelligence is off the chain. Vax it up. That was a damn video. I thought it was a joke. They had black people talking about some, you gotta vax it up. Some shit. I'm like, what the hell is this shit that I'm looking at? Lord have mercy.
They think we that stupid.
But like the brother that was reading the Bible. That's how they see us. That's how they see us. So these are the things. Is there more? There's a little bit more on that. Yeah.
Read the first under startle response. Read that, Austin A. Sean.
Okay.
Issues
in arousal are common with PTSD. The startle response, an extreme response to an intense stimulus, is the body's physical reaction to fear.
There you go, right there. Yeah, is the body's physical reaction to fear. That's what we read. Go to that Isaiah again. This is why I said it's in the Bible. That Isaiah 14 and 3.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3.
This is what it's talking about. White so-called Jews ain't feeling none of this.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
God meant, he wanted to also note that this is hard bondage. When it said hard bondage, God is letting you know that the bondage that the Most High is talking about is the hardest bondage ever illuminated on this planet, that ever went down on this planet. Who did that hard bondage happen to? Us. 400 years of chattel slavery. No other people went through anything close to that. So when you read hard bondage in the Bible, it is talking about us. When you talk about hard bondage, you're talking about the Puerto Ricans, because they went through it too. When you talk about hard bondage, you're talking about the Mexicans. You're talking about the people in Santo Domingo, Haiti, Jamaica, Venezuela, all of those people. We all went through this. Gad, we went through this. Come on, where we at?
You want to keep reading in this? Support?
Jump down to the bottom. Yes, support, yes.
Support is critical for addressing and managing post-traumatic stress disorder.
So if this was white people, they'll get the support. Black people ain't got no therapy at all, period. Forget about it. We ain't get no damn therapy or nothing.
And it's interesting you say that, Bishop, because they come home from war and they put them in support rooms and stuff like that. We've been they had their foot on our neck since we got here.
Still got it on.
And still got it on our neck. Yeah. And we don't get no treatment, no nothing.
And if they give you treatment, the treatment gonna make you worse. They're trying to make you more crazy. We said nope. We don't want that. We got a little bit of sense left with that. Hey, what did that preface say in the book? And it said no. The one that we read last week, when it says for any people to survive and have a semblance of sanity is indeed a miracle. Right. We got a little bit. We got 2%. We ain't supposed to have none. We supposed to have negative numbers.
Yeah, they want to go. I want to prescribe you with. They want to give you some type of medication.
No, man. No.
Oh, Great Depression, they jumping out windows because they lost some money.
Yeah. So read.
Those with PTSD may essentially be reliving their trauma over and over again.
That's black people. We relive trauma over and over again. It's like a rape victim. Go ahead.
Robbing them of enjoying everyday life.
Black people don't get to enjoy nothing. That's the reason why we stay high. That's the reason why we drink. That's the reason why we take drugs, because we're trying to escape the trauma. Go ahead.
Through thorough assessment, mental health professionals can identify the signs of PTSD and begin the treatment process to improve patients' well-being and quality of life.
Right, to improve the patient's well-being and the quality of life. So that's it on that. You know, there's a I'm going to mention this because I hope to find it. There was a brother that did a playwright in New York. I can't remember exactly how to say his name. His name was Thomas Wolunson, something like that. And he did a play, all black cast, about black men and black women relationships. He was actually featured on the Donahue show. That's how I saw it, and it was very it was illustrated very well. And he had 3 different scenarios about the trauma that black people go through in terms of how they relate to each other. Like the black man get fired, the wife is screaming at him, those kinds of things, and it's always a fight in the house. I mean, I got it on tape somewhere. I gotta find it, but I was trying to find the broadcast. I was trying to find it. You can look on YouTube. A lot of things ain't even on YouTube, so I don't even know why I even talked about that. Because when these things was actually airing, there wasn't no such thing as YouTube. Unless somebody recorded it and put it up there, you ain't gonna see it. Right. But I'm hoping that I can actually find it, because these are some of the things that I want to bring out to illuminate that this Bible, all of the stuff that we went through, is in here. Okay, so where am I at? So we read all that, right?
Yes, sir.
So when we was reading out of Deuteronomy and out of Leviticus, go back to that Leviticus again.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 36. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them. And they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth.
So we shall fall when none pursue. That's how afraid we are, traumatized. Go to my book. We was looking at the book. They stole it, but you must return it. Show another page in there. Okay. Go to chapter 3. Right there. Read that.
Chapter 3. What did white...
This right here explains what we were looking at when we read in that Leviticus, when it says that a shaken leaf shall put us to flight. This is what did it.
What did white America do to the black mother? Nobody knows the trouble I seen.
Yeah, because nobody gives a damn about us. Go ahead.
The slaves experienced a break-in period. During this period, it was the purpose of the slave owners to break the spirits of their captives and mold them into accepting the slave owners' inhumane expectations.
That paragraph right there describes black people today. Our people have been broken in to the point where there's no real semblance of who we truly are. And the nations have worked together craftily to make sure that we don't come back to who we really are. Okay, and for many nations are gathered against us to keep us in this paragraph right here. They broke us. A breaking in period means like to break them in to make them useful for your purpose. Right. Breaking them in means breaking our what's natural to us, our heritage, our name, our culture. Break all that and form us into something that could be used 100% for their benefit. That's what that is. That's what they did to us. It was the purpose of them to break the spirits, break the mind, break our thinking, break our aspirations, break our love for each other, to break all of that, to make us only useful for their purpose. Right. This is not light stuff here that we're talking about. This is real stuff. This is where we are. They terrorized people, and they molded us into accepting how they wanted us to be. That's when I make this statement that the Negro was made in America. This is the factory that did it. That factory called breaking in period. That's when they made us into something else. Read.
To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. One such act was a forced tying of naked, pregnant women to a tree. The sacred stares of...
The scared stares, right.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves must have been pain to her mind.
You got to visualize this. To that top of that paragraph, the second paragraph, it said, in order to accomplish the breaking in period, to completely break their spirit, these black people were forced to watch. They made us watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. Who did this? The so-called white man. Go back to that Bible again. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter.
Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
And verse, 49 or 50?
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's exactly what we're reading here. Show no favor to the old or the young. Now we're going to read the history. Like I said, Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, is talking about us in this country. Nowhere else. This is what happened here. To accomplish this,
go ahead. To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind.
You got to stop there. The cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. The white man, the so-called white man, the devil did this.
Bishop Daniel 9 and 11.
Yes.
Right.
That's what this is talking about. Daniel 9 and 11. Exactly.
So
we're not the Jews.
Right.
It's
Kanye West, you out of your mind for saying that.
So this never been done. That's what it's saying. This never been done. Nobody has never done this.
Nobody outdid him.
Right. And nobody has nobody else this been done to.
Right.
That's basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
Daniel 9. Yep.
Daniel 9.
To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. One such act was a forced tying of a naked black pregnant woman to a tree.
So wait a minute now. See, like I said, you got to visualize this. They made brothers and sisters watched a pregnant black woman being tied to a tree. Tied her to a tree, stretched her out. Tied her to a tree. Go ahead.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves.
Scared stares. So they're looking at her, and you can see the terror in their eyes because they know what's about to happen.
Right.
The scared stares as they're looking at this woman, pregnant.
So that's making her scared.
That's why I say that's exactly. They say it must have been pain to her mind.
Right.
She's looking. She's about to be sacrificed and chopped up, and she's looking at grown men. That's supposed to be her savior. I'm showing you there's levels in this destruction. She's looking at black men that been picking up all kinds of big hay bales and all types of stuff. These are big, strong men, but they are made to watch her being chopped up.
Right.
They're made to watch her get mutilated. And they are standing there and are made to see what's about to happen to her. And she sees that they see her.
And it says, Bishop, pregnant woman. So
pregnant woman.
They're not starting with her arm first.
No.
They ain't starting with her fingers first. They starting with that belly.
Yes.
And just think about it, even in itself, the fact that she's naked.
Right. No dignity.
That taking all dignity, everything away from her, she has to stand there tied to a tree naked.
And that's the reason why a lot of our sisters to this day, have no care for their bodies. Because this kind of trauma went down. The white man owned them. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And he strip her naked, put a little rag around her behind, and have her walking with her chest out all the time. And it becomes customary. And that's the reason why these things pass down to us. Go ahead.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves must have been pain to her mind. The sun that once soothed her must have been pain to her body.
It must have been pain to her body to see these men looking at her. And looking at her with fear. Like, as she sees them, their eyes is telling her that they know what's about to happen to her. All of that's going into her while she's literally about to be the victim. I mean, if that's a level of terror that they did to us.
And I was thinking about that next verse where it says the sun that once soothed her is now pain to her.
It's now pain.
Meaning that they left her out there.
Yeah.
She's probably just baking in that sun.
Right. Exactly.
But the greatest pain of all must have been the sight of the white maniac.
The white man. The cruel master that you read in Deuteronomy. Go ahead.
The slave owner. For in his hand was a large knife.
Go ahead.
This knife announced pain and death.
That's what those scared stares, they saw that. And she saw that they saw the knife in his hand. And they were powerless. They couldn't do anything. Go ahead.
The slave owner would take the knife, plunge it into her abdomen, and cut her belly open. Then he will pull the unborn baby out of this dying mother and throw its helpless life to the ground.
And he would, in the other record said that he would take his boot heel and smash the baby's head. After the bloody body, dead baby is on the ground. He would do all of that so that he could make a Negro out of us. And you want to tell me about these damn bastard so-called white people? You want to call them the Jews? No, this happened to Jews here. These are the Jews here that we're reading about.
I was going to say, Bishop, so when we out there on the streets and we telling you that the so-called white man can't come to our heaven, that's exactly what the Bible means. That's what we mean. Why would you want this in your kingdom? Why would you want this in your kingdom? They tied your damn women up to a tree, cut the baby out of her, and threw it on the ground, stomping on it. And you want that man in your kingdom? What you think he gonna do to you? Let you just run all over him? Come on, man. Our people is bugged out their mind.
Yeah, they're the result of what we're reading here.
And just reading that kind of just pricks your spirit.
Yeah.
To visualize that and knowing that even if you was back then, you couldn't do nothing.
You couldn't do nothing. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we want payback.
Yeah. Just imagine, because there was many instances like this here. The white man would come inside the man's sleeping quarters where his wife is. Say, get up, take a walk. Send him out. And the white man will bring his visitor from another plantation and say, you want a treat? I got plenty in here. And the woman was married to the brother that they made him take a walk and send him in there. And the word was pleasure him. And she would have to defile herself with this maniac. And the worst part about it is that he would, after the white man finished soiling her and defiling the hell out of her, he'd leave. And then they called the black man to go back in there to deal with the woman. And can you imagine how she's on the bed trembling or whatever? The trauma.
You got to console her.
You got to console her. Well, at the same time, he got the question in his mind, did she like it? I mean, all of these different things are going through this man's head. And then on another level, she has to still keep his man, she has to console him and still keep his manhood up. Knowing that he couldn't do anything about it, she still has to make him feel like a man. Knowing that he couldn't do nothing, and he knows that he couldn't do nothing. I mean, these are the things that we went through. And we ain't never got no therapy. And I don't understand you black folks. How in the hell you don't want revenge for this here? The hell with what I don't give a damn about Esau's feelings. God says, here is the patience. Give me that. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, what you just explained, Bishop, that ain't just happened like one particular night. That was ain't no telling how many times he was bringing a visitor in.
It happened. It's documented that they did that. That's what they did. They even show you that in Mandingo. Now, in all kind of films, they show you that kind of stuff. Read that. Revelation 13:9. And the 10th verse. Give me the 10th verse. Let's get right to it.
Revelations chapter 13.
Verse 10.
In verse 10.
And I also want Thessalonians 1 and 6.
Revelations chapter 13 and verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Ain't no maybes in that. It ain't no possibility. They must get it. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Meaning the saints want this. What the hell's wrong with you so-called Negroes? The Bible says that here is the faith. We have faith that we're gonna get to chop our enemies up. We want the faith to go down when Christ come back. Yes, I want vengeance. Yes. The hell is this? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. My reason for working in this vineyard is because I have faith that one day I'm gonna get it.
Right.
That's why I'm doing this. The hell with this life. I want to be able to get vengeance for what happened to my people. Here is the faith and the patience of the saint. This is what we're waiting for. If you call yourself a man of God and a woman of God, you're supposed to want this. Right. That's the Bible. That's Jesus himself. Give me Thessalonians.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 7. And
6.
Verse 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, sir.
Seeing is a righteous thing.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
With God.
With who?
With God.
With who?
With God.
With God.
To recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Both scriptures is in the New Testament. Where's a Christian at? Where's a Christian at? He can't read that in his church. That shows you that these churches are full of shit. I'm going to say it straight up. That shows you these churches ain't worth a damn. Your preachers are full of garbage. You full of garbage. You make me sick. You can't even read that in church. How in the hell are you going to talk about that you are a man of God and you can't even read that in your church? Right. You can't read the Bible in your church because the master going to get mad. That's how you see it. You ain't about this Bible. You ain't about this Bible at all. You Negroes, you just like what we read here. You're a broken in slave. Come on, man. Where am I at? That's it on that, right?
You want verse 7 or just 6?
No, that's it. That's it. Now, Let's give me my video. Now the reason why I'm gonna do this, because I said I've been wanting to play this. What I'm about to show y'all here, I gotta shift gears a little bit. The brother that's interviewing these brothers here, just make it wide so they can see what I'm talking about. So they can see. Let them see this on the screen. I forget what this brother's name is. I think it's Earl something. And then you had the other brother named Robert Higgins. Show this brother, let it see. Put it up so they can see what I'm talking about. This is a video. It's called The Covert War Against Malcolm X. Okay, when I play this video, these are two men that were Malcolm X's bodyguards before he was killed. And this is a very good video. I'm only going to show a small portion of it, but this is something that y'all should watch. There's very good information in it, and you can get a lot from it. So Gil Noble from Like It Is, he searched for these men, and he actually found them. He'd been trying to catch up to them because Gil Noble knew Malcolm X. So he actually found these brothers, and they wanted to ask him how was the times around the last moments of Malcolm's life. And it's very painful to this brother particularly. Every time he speaks about Malcolm, he cries all over the place. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the brother that was supposed to be with Malcolm when Malcolm was killed. And Malcolm told him to go out and make a phone call across the street. And he was like, well, yeah, you can get anybody to make a phone call. Why you got to send me? I need to be here watching you. Mm-hmm. Malcolm said, no, you go make the phone call. When he went to make the phone call, Malcolm was killed. And he realized that Malcolm sent him out there because he knew he was going to get killed to save this man's life. And so every time he talks about Malcolm, that's the reason he was avoiding guilt. He said he didn't want to talk. That's a level, that's it. That's trauma right there. Mm-hmm. Talk about PTSD and everything else. This man is traumatized. Every time the subject of Malcolm comes up, he's bawling. Even in this thing, when you're watching, he's bawling. They had to edit it out. He was crying. He was crying in the interview. But the reason why I went here is because he's going to make some statements about the state of black people, and even in that time, that's this. They got it up there. The 83. That's where they actually caught up with him. 1983. But he caught up with him, and they're going to speak about what was going on in 83. Okay, so he's going to talk about the condition of black folks. So that's what we're going to play now. And the reason why I'm playing this particular clip is because, again, it's going to show you how messed up we are, and that we fit what the Bible says. This is going to describe us again. Hit it.
I think Earl has echoed my sentiments. I think that
Earl Grant, that's his name. Earl Grant and Robert Higgins, that's their names.
Is because it's time. You see, young black people out there are looking for leadership. They're looking for motivation, some kind of inspiration. And it's up to us to provide that for them, to let them know that the only solution to the black problem is not to force yourself on somebody else. To stop begging and knocking at the door and chasing white people all over the globe.
Pause it. So as you see, these brothers just being under Malcolm just a little bit. Now, a lot was going on around us, because Malcolm was being taught by our elder back at the old school. Okay, so all of that was going on because in the beginning of this, at the beginning of this particular interview, he mentions about the Israelites. I forget the term that he used, the black Jews. That's what he was talking about. He mentions that in the beginning of this interview. He said that his assignment, because he worked for a newspaper, he said that his newspaper wanted him to do an assignment about the black Jews, and he started naming a whole lot of other stuff. But that's letting you know that that's what was going on around these earlier times here. And Malcolm, when he was alive, Malcolm and Yaquab, which is Ariana's father, used to actually talk. Used to sit in front of the state office building, 125th Street, where it's the state building now, 125th Street and 7th Avenue. That's the location of it. The state office building. It was built in 1972. I remember when the building was built. I used to look out my window and actually see it, and it was built in 1972. So that's where Malcolm and Yaquab used to sit and go over the scriptures. So but at that time that building wasn't there. Somebody might be trying to do the math. The building was not nowhere near there at that time. If you look at some of the old videos where Malcolm is speaking in Harlem, that's the area. It was all flat. It was all flattened out. But in 72 the building was built there. Okay, so that's the story. But Malcolm influenced these men, and that's what they were talking about. They were talking about Malcolm. So Malcolm was always about stop begging white people, do for yourself, this and that. And the other. So that's what he's saying. So I'm just trying to put it together. Okay, so play it again. So now you got to understand the context of what he's saying. It's about black people trying to get themselves together. This is what they had learned from Malcolm. And that's the reason why you will hear me say, you ain't going to hear me disrespect these brothers. You know, you ain't going to hear me disrespect Malcolm X. You ain't going to hear me disrespect Dr. Martin Luther King. You ain't going to hear me disrespect none of these black leaders. You're not, and I'm talking about real leaders, not these niggas in these camps. These niggas ain't worth a damn. Some of these evil-ass niggas, they don't deserve no damn respect. Some of them. Some of the brothers trying to do the right thing, brothers that's really trying to do the right thing, I'm going to give them my respect. I'm going to respect Malcolm. I'm going to respect Martin Luther King. I'm going to respect the brothers, the Panthers, all of those. I'm going to respect them brothers. I'm going to respect my elders back in the old school. I'm going to respect them. Okay. These men are worthy of respect. But the true respect goes to the Most High and His Son, Jesus Christ. Okay. But play it. Come on.
To let them know that the only solution to the black problem is not to force yourself on somebody else. To stop begging and knocking at the door and chasing white people all over the globe. It's time to stop and reassess your own values as a human being and to set proper goals, to learn organization, to learn research techniques, to look at organizations.
Yeah, somebody mentioned, pause it for a second. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, yes, that. But before it was named that, it was 7th Avenue. I'm from Harlem, I know. It was, and 8th Avenue is now Frederick Douglass Boulevard, but that used to be 8th Avenue. But all praises. Thank you, brother. Leo Bislow, I think. Brislow. Go ahead.
Organize to solve your own problems. Is there some way in which, in understanding his life and death, it'll be of help to us today?
What they have to understand, well, Americans, people in this country in general, are known for not knowing very much about the past. They have to understand, especially this young generation, that a lot of these people with their MBAs and their sports cars and their corporate vice presidencies, they have to know that they're not there just because of the way they wear their clothes or the way they part their hair. That somebody paved the way for them to get there, and that they owe some debts, and that they have a responsibility to history to do something else other than just check cashers every week. They have a role to play. They have a people to serve. And unless they do that, as George Santayana said, people who don't understand the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. And there were a group of people in Europe a few years ago who thought they were just other Germans. They thought they were super Germans. Unfortunately for them, that wasn't so.
They talking about the so-called Jews. He threw them in there, but that ain't. But he just threw them in there a little bit. But no, come on.
A lot of our younger people coming out of these schools and going into these corporations, they think they're just another corporate figure. Well, that's not so. No way. That's not so. They're only there because somebody paved the way, and like those kids down in the South, that church that was blown up, If like preachers down there were trying to get people to register to vote that were killed, Dr. King being killed, Medgivers. All this younger generation need to have it burned into their brain how they got where they are, and that the road was not easy, and that they are not in heaven. That's one of their main problems. They think they're in heaven now, but they're not. They're still here.
Do you realize what he's saying? He's saying some heavy SH. Because these kids today have no respect for their elders, nothing. They, like he said, we're just check cashers, and a lot of us just think that we're just here, not realizing that people died for you to even be able to work. That's the reason. Hey, I got to tell a story. You know, I always got a little story. Back in the old school, Bishop knows about it. Bishop Nathaniel know about it. We were teaching 44th Street on the island, right where they got the recruiting station on the armed forces thing behind us. That there used to be an island. We used to actually speak there. We used to set the stage up there and teach from that point. And Marshall would allow the younger brother, you know, Marshall sometimes would get to camp earlier than the other elders would show up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and when they come up, ain't nobody young speaking no more. That's it, you know. But sometimes the elders would come down a little earlier and they just watch the young men speak, you know. So one of the young guys got on the mic and he was reading. You know, there's a scripture that we read in the Bible that we used to attribute to Martin Luther King, the one in Jeremiah, was it 25:23 or 23:25, something like that, when it says, I have dreamed. Right. So we actually had a camp sign that had that on there. But the brother was railing. You know, he went in there, Dr. Martin Luther King, blah, blah, blah. And he was saying all kind of, like, he wasn't no real leader, just talking reckless. You know, Negro get the mic, he forget. You understand? Like, nigga, last week, you know, you was in the number hole, you know, running numbers or some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, so he up there just railing and just going in. And Marshall said, take him down. And took him down. Another brother got, said, put another brother up there. So the other brother's talking, the other brother's teaching. So the young man is down here. Now I'm there, I'm listening to him. And Marshall said, man, then he got on the mic and said it. Because he had to correct the foolishness. But he got on the young man, and he said, these men died for what they believed in, and a lot of the privileges that you have today as a result of that man sacrificing. He said, what did you sacrifice? Shut him down. He sat his ass down on the stool. Then he went and got on the mic and had to straighten out all that out. He said, stop talking about this man like this here, because these men, he said, these men in the 60s when I was coming up, that's how he was talking, because he's from that age. He said, these men are to be respected. These men, he said, these brothers was fighting the real. This damn white man was a mess back then, and we was in this. Them brothers was in the street, risking it all. Medgar Evers, then shooting through his damn windows with his kids. Got to get in a damn bathtub. Yeah, Medgar Evers had to hit his kids in a damn bathtub while bullets is flying through this damn window. These niggas ain't went through nothing like that. Talking shit, talking crap. And then they're going to get up there and be talking, Dr. Martin Luther King, this, Dr. Malcolm X, that. Nigga, shit, sit your ass down and shut up. Right. So when the brothers here saying, we owe some debts, we need to remember that thing. Back that thing up, man, and get that thing going on. Let that brother speak that thing, man. Hey, I always love my older brothers, man. I always used to listen to older people. These young niggas don't know nothing. Don't even talk to me. Shoot. Go ahead, man.
They're just another corporate figure. Well, that's not so. No way. That's not so. They're only there because somebody paved the way, and like those kids down in the South, that church that was blown up. It was like preachers down there were trying to get people to register to vote that were killed. Dr. King being killed. Medgivers. All this younger generation need to have it burned into their brain how they got where they are, and that the road was not easy.
Hey, I'm gonna make another statement. Cause Bishop brings it out. We get these little young little niggas that was with us, and somebody said, why don't y'all stop talking about it? Because the niggas didn't repent. That's the reason why we gonna still talk about their ass. They never repented, none of them. So shut the hell up. Sit down and shut up and listen and learn. But they come in here and talk about some damn elders. They ain't seen nothing. They ain't went through piss. They ain't seen a damn thing. Even us, me and Bishop, we went through some shit. We've seen some stuff. And these little new little niggas come among us, get a little bit of rank, and think that they think they on our level. Think that they can talk with us. Sit your ass down and shut up. You ain't been to nothing. You ain't seen nothing. Go ahead, man. Without getting to be all excited.
All this younger generation needs to have it burned into their brain how they got where they are, and that the road was not easy, and that they are not in heaven. That's one of their main problems. They think they're in heaven now, but they're not. They're still here. They got a long ways to go, and there's this book entitled The Choice. There's an article in there where he talks about a study in 1970 by the U.S. Navy. What would be the attitude of white people in this country if black folks were beginning to be systematically suppressed like the Jews in Germany? And the study pointed out that most white people wouldn't care. I mean, that's a horrifying thought for me. I mean, really, really disturbing that anybody would even think to conduct a study like that in this country is scary.
Pause it.
But that was a...
Pause it. Why did I want to play up to that point? Actually, I've been holding this video for almost a year that I wanted to bring this in. But last week, when Eliakim was here, he made the point. Remember, he said that they did a study on black men as they come in contact with each other, right? What was the thing that he said?
When they come in contact with each other, how they treat each other, their mannerisms towards one another.
Right.
They did a study to that.
They did a study monitoring the mannerism on how we deal with each other. And I remember saying, when he mentioned that, I said the fact that our ill behavior is so prominent that it brought the attention of somebody to say, you know what? These niggas are so out of control, we need to do a study on that. And they actually codified and did and diagnosed it and all of that. They actually did a damn study on how we deal with each other, like watching lab rats breaking it, like we've been broken in. And they said, let's watch how they run around in the mouse cage. That's basically how they deal with us. Let's do a study on them. Look how they operate. Look at that. Look at this. So we're so messed up that people look at us like we're a damn specimen and do studies on us. Right. That's what the man is saying here. Back that up again, because I called Deacon. I called different people that I know who was in the Navy, and I was asking about that particular book. I'm trying to find that. It said it was an article, and I was trying to look for it. This article, it said it was in some kind of magazine or something called The Choice. This is what I was asking about because I wanted to actually read about it. So back it up a little bit. Let's get the statement. Listen.
The road was not easy, and that they are not in heaven. That's one of their main problems. They think they're in heaven now, but they're not. They're still here. They got a long ways to go, and there's this book entitled The Choice. There's an article in there where he talks about a study in 1970 by the U.S. Navy. What would be the attitude of white people in this country?
Pause it.
There
was a study done asking what would be the attitude of white people. What would be their attitude? How would they feel if all of a sudden black people were being rounded up and exterminated? And the article said white folks wouldn't even care. That's an article. That's what he pointed out. He said that if they just systematically rounded us all up and took us somewhere and just exterminated all of us, they said that white people would not even give it. Not the hell with white people. But the point is, I'm just making a point about the sentiment about us. The hatred that's out there is for real. This back then. Right. And just a few days ago, they did a study on how we operate with each other. So nothing changed. That's my point. Mm-hmm. Right. So he's making a point that said that if we was all rounded up and gotten rid of, nobody would care. Then he goes on further because he said it's very disturbing to even acknowledge that somebody would even conduct a study like that. What would make you look at the people and wonder, how would it be if we got, you understand? Where is your line of thinking that comes to you that says, you know what? I got an idea. What would happen if we just rounded all these niggas up and got rid of them? How would you feel, Biff? How would you feel, Jasper? How would you feel, Prudence? How would you feel,
Harvey?
How would you feel? Oh hell, I wouldn't give a damn about that. Hell, one of them walked through my damn yard yesterday. My damn tulips died. I'll get rid of all of them. And that's how they will react. Nobody gives a damn. We are the most hated people of all. We are. The scriptures say that. And they that hate the Most High, because if they hate God, they hate us. Christ said, know that if the world hate you, they hated me. They hated Jesus. They hated Christ. You can't even go in a church and read the words of Jesus about Jesus without being thrown out and called a hater. So they hate Jesus. If they was to roll Jesus off a cliff, they really wanted to do that. He just whooped past them. But these people today would roll him off of a cliff if they could. Because Jesus is in us. So they hate us. They hate Jesus. They hate our people. This is reality. This is something that we don't want to face, but it's the reality. Is that it on the video? Play the rest of it.
Black folks were beginning to be systematically suppressed like the Jews in Germany, and the study pointed out that most white people wouldn't care. I mean, that's a horrifying thought for me. I mean, really, really disturbing that anybody would even think to conduct a study like that in this country is scary. But that was the conclusion of it. If they started rounding up black folks and started making them disappear from the city, most people wouldn't care. They just wouldn't care. That's what the study said.
Damn, that's some stuff, ain't it? That's some stuff there, bro. I'm telling you.
I can believe it though.
Yeah.
And again, showing that we in this Bible. That's why in Ezekiel 35 it says they have a perpetual hatred for us.
That's it right there. Read that. Read that. Then we're gonna close out. We got more, but we're gonna end it. We're gonna end this segment, and we'll be back. Lord willing, we'll be back next week. If to continue. We'll be back next week to continue. We got a lot more information here.
Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Because thou, who's the thou? Esau. That's who it's literally talking about. Edom. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred against the 12 tribes of Israel. The white man hates us. That's the real hate group. Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Along going from slavery all the way up to now, from the womb, they hated us. Go ahead.
And has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
In slavery, they shed the blood of the black woman being tied to a tree, ripped us baby out of her womb. That's what they did. Go ahead.
By the force of the sword.
By the force of the knife and the sword, they chopped our babies up in 70 AD. All of that violence and viciousness happened from them to us. Go ahead.
In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Even though our iniquities have it, because we're repenting now. We're realizing that we're the Israelites, and what are they doing? They're trying to kill us while we're trying to bring this truth out. Right. So you ain't never about our good. That's why we don't trust you. You ain't never about our good.
Right.
I get nervous when they get too close to me because that's just the way it is. He's a hate guy. I know I got to work with him and all those kinds of things. But when the job is over, you go home, I go home. I go to my place, I go to my shack, you go to your mansion that you robbed and stole.
You ain't no hate group, you smart.
Yeah.
The Bible says never trust thy
Never
enemies.
trust your enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
That's the revenge. The Most High going to make sure that we get vengeance on you. God the one that's going to do it. God going to make sure that this get done. Okay?
And blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, meaning since. It's spelled that right.
Okay. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
You didn't hate blood at all. You built your whole town with blood. That's what it says in the scriptures. Your whole existence is dependent upon the murder of everybody on the planet, basically. Robbed them, raped them, stole from them, and put them in slavery. That's your existence. You know, God made you that way, so we ain't mad. You understand? So we just want the kingdom.
Right.
We don't care how we going to get it, but we want the kingdom. Okay? So with that, brothers and sisters, we're going to say shalom on this segment, and we'll see you next week, Lord willing. All right? So let's get the credits. And brothers and sisters, just remember, stay tuned for Deacon IBL and fix your face. Face has got to get fixed.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on with
yes,
it.
sir. Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, you can fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box. To give alms online, donate to iuic.concord.nc at israelunite.org. Donate to the Booster Club as well via PayPal at iuic.fundraising at israelunite.org.
Okay.
Also, subscribe to IUIC TV. Subscribe to the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers on IUIC TV.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At Bible, Book of Our Fathers. All right. So make sure y'all subscribe to the Bible, Book of Our Fathers, y'all.
Okay. We're also on YouTube as well, as y'all know. So brothers and sisters, with that, we say shalom and Most High in Christ bless you. Happy Sabbath. Keep the commandments. Stay faithful. Stay in the spirit. And what's the other one?
Study, pray, and apply.
Study, pray, and apply. I know about that one, but that was the one. There's the one that Bishop always saying. Every time because I be thinking about it so hard and it slips me. All praise to the Most High. Brothers and sisters, we see you next week. Shalom. Send up prayers for all of us. Send up prayers for the bishops, the deacons, the captains, the officers, soldiers, the young men, women, and children. Keep us all in your prayers. We got a big job to do, and we want to continue to do this work for the resurrection of the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm
That's
Bishop
right.
Yahweh, and we out. Shalom.
Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.